Good morning, Raptor freaks. It's Wednesday, and the Raptors have completed the sweep of the Orlando series, winning both games and winning the season series against the Orlando Magic last night by 1 point in an improbable victory that wasn't even on purpose. That's so crazy. We obviously were trying to lose last night. That's undeniable. Why would you not play Scotty, Emmanuel, Jakob, and then take RJ out with 2 minutes to go? You were expecting Magic to catch up and beat you, but they didn't. It didn't happen. What happened? Well, our young Raptors are plucky. They care about winning, and there's something special about Jacoby Walter. I love this game last night. This may be one of the most interesting Raptor games in the history of the Raptors in some ways because, obviously the plan was, well, we kind of want to lose. Obviously, if you're going to put out a bunch of rookies in two ways to close the game, and they're going to play their two best players and three veterans of KCP, Jonathan Isaac, and who's the other guy that they had? Corey Joseph. You're going to play those guys with Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero, and you're going to have the best Magic's crew out there. Magic, that's their best team right now, and we're going to put out Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, AJ Lawson, Orlando Robinson, Jared Roden. Yeah, we're just like that. That's what this is. We're just like that. Put in a little bit of a ref hit job too. Why not, Ben Taylor, with your piece of shit, crazy ass officiating all game long? We're going to talk about this in depth. This stuff that was going on with Ben Taylor last night for sure. And the Raptors win by 1 still. Somebody really didn't want Orlando to win this weekend, whether it's Franz missing a layup in the last game or, the way things went down last night. I don't get it. ESPN power rankings are out this morning, and the Raptors are 27th, and the Orlando Magic are 18th. That doesn't seem like that's right, considering where the Magic looked like the last two games and where we look like. That just shows you how stupid the ESPN power rankings are, because they don't really gauge things in real time or actually look at the games and how the teams are playing. If you were any way, you would switch those teams immediately and put the Raptors 18th in the power rankings and put Orlando down at 27 because the way they look, they're so bad. In fact, at one point, Jack said the Magic seems so unconfident in their shots and making points. Yeah, we've had a period of time like that with the Raptors. Tampa, a couple of years ago, where the Raptors just couldn't find the basket any which way, and they were just horrible on offense and just unconfident about scoring. Yeah, I've been in that position with this team before as a Raptors freak, watching the Raptors unconfident and not being able to do anything with their offense. Thank God we don't have that problem anymore. But man, does Orlando. To me, it doesn't make sense. They've got Paulo and Franz. How the hell can they be this bad on offense? Seriously, that team is really, really messed up. It's crazy. I didn't realize Jalen Suggs was so important in this team, too. Because listen, I said this weekend, we played the Magic, the best version of the Magic this whole season as far as the caliber of players they got, because they had Paulo and Franz. But they played better in the other two games we played against them. In fact, they won the first game they played against us, and we beat them in the last three. But those first two games they played against us earlier this season, they were much more competitive and better without Franz Wagner. Why is that? That's weird to me. Like, you guys have more firepower, but you seem like you have way less ability to score than ever, Orlando. There's something weird going on there, man. That team is incomplete. And that team has some big glaring flaws. And as much as I was about to say next year, Magic and Raptors are going to be up near the top of the standings, I don't believe in them anymore after these last two games. No, I don't. They need a lot more work than just what they got. And in some ways, the Raptors are way more set up better for next year with Brandon Ingram being added to things and a draft pick. It's crazy. I know a lot of people are upset because we won. Well, once again, stop. Why can't we just celebrate a win and get that W when we get it? It feels good. Didn't it feel good to see Jacoby hit that shot? Didn't it feel good to see how happy our Raptors were? the celebration, the jubilation. Why would you want to take that away from them, Tank Nation? In some ways, I have a new scenario I want to portray to you real quick right now. A new scenario that may blow your socks off, make you be like, "Whoa, what are you saying, Lex? This is crazy." Yeah, it may sound a little crazy what I'm about to say. This schedule we're going to play right now coming up is too easy. It's way too easy. And we would do an injustice to these young men that play for our team as rookies and young players like Ochai Agbaji to slump and go underneath the level of the teams we're going to be playing soon. So I'm telling you right now, we need to win as much as possible because these are bad teams we're going to be playing soon. We're going to play Washington twice in the next week. Washington twice in Toronto, both games. We're going to play Utah, and Utah has been failing miserably all over the place. We're going to play Philadelphia and Nick Nurse and their failure of a season. I'm telling you right now, I don't want to see the Raptors lose the games unless they're very much doing it on purpose, trying to do it like last night, but still they managed to win it anyway. Listen, if they get 30 wins, we're at 20 right now. If they win 30 games, half of their games for the rest of the season, because they have 20 games left, they may be in the play-in at number 10. And I ain't going to be mad at that. Playing for what? Playing for this, motherfuckers. This is what I tell you, playing for this. Because that is damn good experience for Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shead, Orlando Robinson, Jared Rhoden, AJ Lawson, Jamison Battle when he comes back and he's healthy, Jonathan Mobo, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly. You know, listen, this is the thing. If we play really good in this last stretch against these teams coming out, we can get some good buildup of very good play at the end of the season. In fact, the teams that do the best in the playoffs get a ramp up at the end of the season because they play really well and they're rolling into it. What if we roll into the playoffs, get a play-in spot, win our play-in, even 2 games, get into the first round, then we beat the first round, and we come from that, from where we were already in this. Now, this is the thing. Even if you get in the play-in, your wins don't change either way. You're going to stay in the same spot as far as the draft lottery, but you get the best of both worlds in some ways. Like, think about Atlanta last year. Atlanta made the play-in, and they got the first pick in the draft. So we could get in the play-in and still pick in the top 10 and get some playoff experience for these young Raptors because they deserve it, honestly. You could see it. Like, seriously, is there a scenario where we get in the play-in, we get past the play-in, we get in the first round, we win the first round, and we're in the second round of the playoffs all of a sudden this year? Don't think that's not possible, especially if Brandon Ingram shows up before the end of it and decides he wants to get involved and say, yeah, I can play this last 2 weeks of the season. Let me figure it out with y'all, and let's fuck around and find out. Seriously, would that scenario be so awful, Tank Nation? Would that scenario be so bad, Raptor Freaks? I don't think so. In fact, I would love to see it because it would make everybody go crazy. Josh Lundberg be saying, which lane are you getting into, guys? Yeah, maybe we're trying to go to the playoffs and play to win like an NBA team should. I would love it if we got in the play-in and got past the play-in and played in the first round and kicked ass and got the second round or something like that. That is possible. Why can't we have this, y'all? Why do we have to sue ourselves and say, no, we need to tank for Cooper. We need to tank for... No, we need to try and let Jacoby Walter be Jacoby Walter. Because when we see who Jacoby Walter is, I like what I see. I like what I see last night. You know? Because seriously, Bobby and Masai, they did want to lose last night. Darko did what they said. Don't play Jakob in the fourth. Don't play them. Take them out. Put the youngsters in for development. Well, the youngsters, they got to go against the Magic starters, and they beat them. And that's impressive to me. That's impressive to me right there. Really, really big stuff from that young two-ways and the rookies at the end of the game to capture that game and win it. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. They didn't get the memo. No, they didn't get the memo. They were supposed to lose. And Orlando had the pace and the timing, and they could have, but we didn't let them for some reason because the youngsters are just like that. And it took us hitting a miracle shot in the last second of the game by Jacoby Walter, a three-pointer at the top of the key with contact, ugly-ass shot. He slung it up. It didn't have the best form or anything, but he's a baller, and he's like that, and he showed it last night. That was amazing, man. What a great game. Seriously, I'm reveling in it. I'm loving it. I'm laughing about it. I'm laughing. Ben Taylor, What are you trying to do with your crazy ass reviews and your bullshit? Taking 5 minutes, watching cartoons, taking so long, killing the game with waiting around with John Conley and JT Orr, talking about this, talking about that. Why are you taking so long to do this, bro? Especially when you're just going to come back and say, it's just a common foul, no flagrant on the play. Bullshit, motherfucker. There were flagrants coming in this game from the first start of the game. Orlando was literally taking it to us and hitting us in the face. Literally hitting us in the face. Dirty ass team. Dirty ass, horrible team that can't play worth a shit, and they have to subjugate themselves to playing a physical game to try and knock the other team off their thing. Well, you know what? Our guys don't mind a little rumble. That's what RJ said after the game. He said, yeah, they tried to come at us with physicality. They tried to punk us. Well, you know what? I loved it. I loved it. That's what RJ said. He said, I have not had so much fun playing in a basketball game as this night in a long time. Because, yeah, the competition was there. The eye of the tiger was there. They took it literally to RJ Barrett's jaw, and he had to shake it off and stand up like a man and come right back at them and take that ball to the hoop and laugh in their face and say, you can't stop me, motherfuckers. Oh! Yeah, RJ. Because seriously, weaker men would have folded when they got punched in the face like that. Weaker men would have stood there and just let them. But Jakob Perl said, no, Wendell Carter Jr., you piece of shit. You're not going to be a little thug who has 5 fouls and only 2 points, you piece of shit thug. I hate Wendell Carter Jr. now. In the dirty-ass ways he was hitting the Raptors, all kinds of different places. Very, very reckless. And we've lost a Raptor every single game, 3 games in a row now. Ochai Agbaji, Grady Dick, and now Jonathan Mobo last night. Jonathan Mobo didn't have to have blood spurting out of his nose at any moment just because Orlando Magic players felt like hitting forearms to the face. Yeah, elbows up, huh? Yeah, elbows up. You see how the Canadian team comes back and beats your ass anyway with their rookie hitting a game-winning shot. That was bullshit. How much physicality was allowed by Ben Taylor and them, because most of it was coming at us and most of it was hurting us. And they have the audacity to go over there and waste our time and look at the video and say, common foul, there wasn't any excessive hit on the play. Bullshit. Wendell Carter went for Jakob Pertl's neck. He came with a shiver of his forearm right into him. That's very dangerous. And the NBA has rules about hitting people in the head. Ben Taylor, you piece of shit. You need to call the flagrant when it's there. And that's bullshit that you poo-pooed it and say, oh. You know, in some ways, I think it's because Jakob's just so big and bad. He's a big, strong dude, just like Shaq. And when Shaq was in the league, he took a lot of extra licks that nobody counted either. And that's part of that. But boy, was it egregious. The leading into and the leaning into of the forearm of Wendell Carter into Jakob Pertl's face. No wonder Jakob got mad. The big Austrian's a nice man. He's a very, very good person. But did you see that fire in him about competition? And when somebody hits him in the mouth, yeah, it's on. In some ways, they woke up, these guys, and they made them have a new competitive fire that I love to see. RJ and Jakob Pertl. Yeah. They were in some ways, it was like, we can't let these bastards win because of their stupid ass fucking cheap shots. And the worst ones were Wendell Carter Jr. and Franz Wagner. Absolutely dirty ass shit going on in that game last night. Hitting people in the air, doing all kinds of stuff. Jamal Mosley, I think you're a good coach, but if you're directing your players to play dirty like this because y'all suck and that's your only way to try and win, you're a fucking piece of shit, Jamal Mosley. I'm going to say that right now. If you're directing your team to play physical because that's the only chance you have to win NBA games, well, you lost anyway. And you lost to rookies with your damn starting lineup. What a pathetic fucking team, the Orlando Magic. Playing like thugs, beating people up with cheap shots in the air, and still managing to lose to a rookie on a game-winning 3. Yeah, you get what you get, is what I say to Orlando right now. You didn't deserve to win either one of these games, and thank God you didn't. And thank God the Raptors, once again, have swept the team on their own home court this season. That is so impressive to me. We did it in Atlanta already this season. We went to Atlanta, we played the Hawks twice, and we beat them both times on their home court. The thing is, when you play these 2-game series, they're a natural split. It's obvious that usually the team will come in, we beat them in the first game. Well, the other team's got home. The other team's got adjustments. The other team's got the gumption to not lose again on their home court. They have all the reason in the world to try and beat us and not look bad on their court, getting swept by a team that honestly didn't have 20 wins until last night. That's pretty impressive to me. In fact, that is a testament to our coach, Coach Darko Rajakovic. Seriously, that we won both home series against Atlanta and Orlando this season. That is huge. And as I said, this is like the other way going in with Nick Nurse losing 2 games in Orlando and an Orlando matchup 2 years ago. And we're coming out the other side with 2 victories over Orlando with Darko as our coach coming out this other way. And we're going to play the Wizards. 2 games in Toronto, a 2-game set just like this. But this one, we're at home, and it's the Wizards. So we should sweep them too. I'm so impressed that they could do this, win 2 games in a row against the same opponent on their court. That is badass, guys. That is really, really good. And that's a testament to just the caliber and the kind of team we have right now. Seriously, it's so good. It's so good. I got so many different things to say about the game last night. We found out about a real bad man last night. That's right. And we're going to talk about that. Let's go. All right, Trevor J. This is what he's saying. You can forgive some people without welcoming them back in your life. Apology accepted, access denied. That's right. Everybody who hates me, I don't hate y'all anymore. I've gone and moved on in my life. But I forgive you also. But I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. And that's just how it is. Trevor J., thank you for your words of wisdom. Let's go. That's right. It's healthy to have boundaries. And when people show you their true selves, well, see them for who they are. That's enough right there. That's right. Trevor's saying after Jacoby hit the game-winning shot, Bobby was smiling in the background. What a lineup Darko put out there to close the game. 2 two-ways, Shed, Jacoby, and Orlando Robinson. Man. I love that. When you pointed that out and told us in the chat that Bobby was standing behind the shot and smiling in the background, you know, that smiles a couple things right there, Bobby Webster. Bobby Webster's probably the one who told Darko not to play our starters at the end of the game last night. He's probably like, yeah, you know, Darko, in some ways, maybe we do kind of need to think about the ping pong balls a little bit. So, you know what? Let's do development time for the young guys at the end of the game. Okay, Bobby, we will do that. And then he goes and does it. And the young guys go out there and fuck around and win the game anyway. That's Bobby smiling. He's like, look, we're so good at drafting. We drafted Jacoby Walter, and look what he's doing his rookie year, game winner. That's going to be the first of many to come. I'm telling you right now, there's an aura around Jacoby Walter, and it's a little bit like the basketball gods have touched him and said, oh, you are a chosen one. Because I'm telling you, in some ways, this dude is showing all those signs like that. Seriously, I'm telling you, y'all, when I made the comparison to DeMar DeRozan with Jacoby Walter, I meant it. There's certain things about Jacoby and the way he moves, his footwork, and the way he's really smart with his body that so much reminds me of DeMar. And we know DeMar is one of the best clutch players in the league right now. So I'm just saying, man, this is not a weird aberration. This is the first game winner for Jacoby, and it's not going to be the last. There's going to be more to come. And that's why Bobby's smiling right there. Because it's like he's thinking in his head, I told these guys to lose, but damn, look at what they did. They went and won. Wow. I mean, I'm sure Bobby he's right there. He's in proximity. They made the plan up, and Darko understands. In some ways, Darko has said we're about developing and making our players better. That's the important thing. But I still think that you make your players better and you practice winning. That's the best way to make your players better. Seriously. And I still think, like I just said 5 minutes ago, that what if we do fuck around and get in the play-in? Playing for what? Playing for a playoff and playoff spot and playoff experience for a team. And a team this year that had no business getting the playoffs, but finally it did at the end of the year. That would be kind of an accomplishment if you think about it. In the year that we've gone through this year, with the amount of winning we went through in the middle of it, if all of a sudden we kick some ass for the last 20 games, get in the play-in and fucking get past the play-in and get in the playoff, who would not want that as a Raptors fan? Okay, y'all are just tank nation, draft lovers. Nah, man, this isn't draft season. This is NBA season. NBA season means NBA regular season games. It's not draft season. Y'all are so ahead of things. We lose so much. I just want to look at the next positive part, and that's drafting. Because the Raptors are so bad, I've forgotten about their season. Motherfucker, we got to play 82. And either whether you like it or not, we're going to play bad teams. We're probably going to win. So I'm telling you, man, I ain't going to sit around and watch them lose the Charlotte Hornets 3 more times, Washington 3 more times. Fuck that. We need to beat these teams. Seriously. In some ways, that's the insidiousness of the NBA schedule and the way they made it. They gave us all our hard games at the beginning of the season, gave us all our easy games. And these are games we were supposed to collect wins during the whole throughout the games of the season. but they're happening now at the end of the season. These are games that we were rightfully deserving to win, but they should have been spread out from the beginning all the way through the season. But they did this insidious shit. So we get our easiest games now, and Raptors fans are in the mode where they don't want to win anymore. So they're going to be toxic. And they're going to whine and cry about every W we get. How can you not like what happened last night? Seriously, if you're a real Raptors fan. How can you not like to see our rookie Jacoby Walter step up and hit a game-winning three at the last second and do what they did? How can you be upset about that? Seriously, search your soul if you're mad that the Raptors lost last night by 1 point just because you worry about ping pong balls in the draft. You may not have the right priorities for being a Raptors fan, is what I'm saying right now. Because, man, when I see my team win, when I see the guys on my team, the jubilation, Scotty Barnes carrying Jacoby Walter around on the court over his shoulder, I feel real good with them. And in some ways, if you're not feeling the same emotions as the team as they go through them, you're probably not the right fan for this team, is what I'm going to say right now. Because seriously, when they lose, I feel it with them. And when they win, I feel it with them too. And I'm feeling good right now. Woo! I feel good. Na, 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 na. And I knew that I would now. Na, 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 na. So good. So good. I got the Raptors. Woo! That's right. We feeling good this morning. If you ain't, man, get your priorities straight is what I'm saying. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, Trevor's saying the Magic game announcers said they gave Darko credit because he has his young team playing harder and tough-minded. Yeah, David Steele, Jeff Turner, whatever the fuck y'all were saying on your broadcast. Yeah, I mean, what can they say? They got to say it like it is. Tell it like it is. I mean, the Magic are in trouble, man. I don't understand how they're so bad at scoring. They have Paulo. They have Franz. These guys are good. I don't understand this. What the fuck happened to them? They're a weird team, man. They're a weird team. And honestly, I lost a lot of respect for players on their team. I lost respect for Wendell. I think Wendell's a piece of shit going forward now. He's absolutely a dirty player. And honestly, man, you only got 2 points, you scrub. You got more fouls, more dirty-ass fouls in that game than points, Wendell Carter Jr., you piece of shit. Man, I fucking hate that guy now for the dirty shots he put on our guys last night. Franz Wagner, totally lost respect for you in a couple ways last night with your fucking dirty-ass play too. You know, I lost respect for Cole Anthony this season for his dirty-ass shit. And, well, I'm learning a little bit more about the Magic and their dirty-ass players from these games we play in lately. Yeah, credit to Darko for sure. That's what I'm saying. Anybody who thinks Darko's a bad coach, well, he's such a good coach. When he's trying to lose, he still wins. How about that? So good. Mo's here. Good to see Superfan Mo. Yes, Mo and I are celebrating. We are family. Yeah, we're celebrate good times. Come out. Woohoo! Yeah, let's go, Mo. That's right. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. What a win. I'm still smiling. Jacoby, can I say it? Playing? That's what I'm thinking too, Mo. That's what I'm thinking too this morning. That's right. Team effort. Give Darko his flowers. Wow. I love the intensity. I love the passion. I love the hard work. We're in the late stages of the season, and our guys are just as energetic and getting after it on the court as they were the first day of the season. And that is a testament to the coach and what he gets out of his players and how much they're bought in and believe in what he's doing. Because if they didn't believe in what he's doing, they'd be more like the Suns and flipping off their coach like Kevin Durant did. Seriously. So there's a lot of evidence that Darko Rajakovic is a badass coach because look at what we do now. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. I'm all about it. That's right. Team effort is badass. I love the intensity of the chain ceremony after the game. You know, it wasn't Jacoby who got the chain. Jacoby got that launch pad chain the other day. It was RJ who got the chain last night, and rightfully so. RJ was our guy carrying us last night. He is my number one star of the game. And for what he did last night, I mean, listen, he is really like a leader for us. He's our scoring leader. And in some ways, he's the guy who's taken it for the pride of Canada and Toronto to other people because that's who he is. And it does really matter that he wears the Raptors jersey. It hits a little bit harder than that Knicks jersey he used to wear. 32 minutes for RJ, 7 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. 4 of 9 from the free throw line, still missing free throws, still not putting the knees into the free throw shots to get the extension and the length to get to the basket sometimes, shooting short. Yeah, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 block, 3 turnovers, a +6, 21 points in 32 minutes for RJ. It was like the 18th game this season that RJ got 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And he also had 10 deflections, which was a very big deal to Darko on the game last night. And that's what Jack and Matt were saying last night. RJ's improved his defense, y'all. The knocks on RJ about him with defense are wrong. In fact, at the end of the game, when he was running that young team in the last 5 minutes, he was picking up Panchero at that point at the end of the game. And he was doing a semi-okay job on Paulo in that situation. So, man, people's got to stop knocking RJ and just saying he's a bad defender. That man is improving every single night. And he's you know what? He has a good team around him and they all look out for each other. He's a good defender. That's part of the secret, y'all. You're only a bad defender if you're on a team that doesn't communicate and is not connected and you're a little bit of a below average defender, then you'll look and stand out. But when you're on a team with guys that are together and they play in unison and they communicate effectively, you can be a little bit of a subpar defender and you can be above average defender in that system. And that's the secret to it right there. It doesn't matter if Grady's a little slight right now or Jacoby, because they all got each other's backs and they're coming to help each other all the time and they're talking. And that's what makes the difference right there. People got to realize, yeah, RJ got the chain and they were talking to him and the chain ceremony, real bad man, real bad man. Yeah, I love that. I'm going to start using that, the real bad man, because that's what they're calling RJ right now. And in some ways it's apropos. It fits. It's beautiful because that's who he is. It's like, you know, the going in there, taking the licks, getting hit around, making the shot still and flexing. He's a real bad man. Yeah, he is. He is. He completely is a real bad man. I love it so much, Mo. Didn't you love to see what RJ did last night? Aren't you proud of him? Native son, one of ours, one of us from here. Yeah. I love it so much. I love it so much, Mo. So happy to see you. Yeah. She's saying AJ said, "What Tank? Keep crying, tankers." I love it. AJ Lawson said that. That's a real one too, man. AJ Lawson. I love the factor that AJ got prominent minutes in this game, and he really showed some of the stuff that he's been doing in G League all year. First for Long Island Nets when he was on their team before we signed him to the two-way contract. You know, he was killing it for the Nets. He scored huge games, like 40-point games, but he kind of cooled off when he became a 905 and got on the two-way with us. And in some ways, it's kind of partly because Andrew Jones and Darko are trying to mold AJ Lawson into more of the player that fits with our system. And some of that is not so much high usage and inefficient shooting like he normally does, and maybe a little bit more concentrating on being an active defender and an all-around player in certain ways for the Raptors. Now, he got the call, you know, with the injuries to Oshai and Grady, that's freed up some room in our rotation right now. And, well, Jared Rhoden and AJ Lawson got their numbers called last night, 0 and 8. And, well, AJ really showed something, a big, huge three late in the game. And, you know, a lot of his shots that he made were assists from RJ Barrett. And I'm going to say this right now. RJ and AJ are like Jonathan and Scotty. And I don't know if many people knew that. They grew up together. They've been friends since they were children. And they played basketball for a long, long time. RJ Barrett said it after the game. He said, it was really fun to be out there with AJ. We've known each other for so long. And we played basketball since we were kids. So there is a natural, real connection between that. Some idiot was saying, why did we get Jonathan Mobo? We're pandering to Scotty. You're an idiot. Team chemistry is everything. And when you can build bonds between people that have been there for decades and utilize them on your team, that's just smart team building. I'm sorry. It's not like Jonathan Mobo doesn't deserve to be in the NBA. The man is an NBA player, and he's a badass, and he's a great talent. But the added bonus lock-in of having the synergy of two guys that have known each other since the fourth grade, it can be very, very helpful. You can see there's an innate little bit of understanding between Jonathan and Scotty just by looking at each other. They don't even have to say anything because they know each other like that. And it's the same thing with RJ and AJ. And we got to see some of that synergy last night, and it was really cool. I really loved it, man. I love that AJ said that too, Monique. Exactly right. You know, I love that Kia Nurse started the game with this. In the beginning of the game, Kia Nurse just returned from playing for Team Canada women's team and some qualifiers recently, and she returned to the studio, and she gave her opinion from the player's perspective about tanking. And she was dead on. Everything she said on that broadcast before the game started is exactly where I stand. And this is the player's mentality. We don't do this to waste our time and our youth. And our ability to play while we can is valuable. It's limited. You can't play forever. Not everybody's going to be LeBron. Not everybody's going to be able to play for 20 years plus. So there's on a clock. And if you are going to be on a team, they're going to waste your time and say, yeah, we're in a process. We're going to lose on purpose because we're losing for next year. Some of these players don't like that. And some of them will want to leave. And that's what Kia said. As a competitive player herself who plays in the WNBA and plays in the league, she said this is tanking and trying to lose on purpose is the stupidest shit in the world. And I appreciate you, Kia Nurse, for saying this. Even though Kate and Leo were kind of in Stank Nation, Leo's still saying, well, the ping pong balls do matter still. And so, like, I get it, Leo. You're going to try and portray this side, but listen to Kia Nurse, Raptors fans. Seriously, listen to Kia Nurse and what she said. And that perspective she espoused on before the broadcast last night is exactly what Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Jacoby Walter are thinking right now. And that's the thing. Why would you want to do that? These guys are professionals. They're not going out there to practice to lose like the Sixers did for many years. No, you see where the Sixers got to with that. I'm just saying, we need to just go with the flow. And there's no set rules about what a team should be doing at any given time just because the fans think so. It's so stupid. I'm so sick of it. Once again, I'll say the team needs to be what the team is supposed to be naturally. And all this imposing what the team should be from the fan nation and journalists and people like that, it's all unnecessary and stupid. Because in some ways, first of all, y'all don't have no control over it. And second of all, obviously Jacoby Walter wants control over it. And he wants to take the win. Well, that's what's going to happen. So I'm just saying, I feel like it's so dumb that we've gotten so captivated with the draft and tanking and records and all this stuff because this never was a thing. When I was a kid watching the NBA in the 80s and the 90s, they never talked about this kind of shit. There was never this kind of mentality. The teams just played, and if they won, they won. If they didn't, they didn't. If you weren't a good team and you didn't make the playoffs, you're still trying to win all the way through the end of the season. Because in some ways back then, if you were a team on the outside looking in, you played spoiler, and you messed up other teams' chances to get in the playoffs. Or, you just played for season records. You may have to play a team and you may have lost to them at certain times, but if you beat them this last game, you actually win the season series. So there's a lot of different competitive levels of things to compete for other than just the playoffs or the championship. You can compete to say, I want to beat the Orlando Magic in their season series against them so that we have that win. There's all kinds of different things. And I wish that people weren't so all or nothing. And even Leo said you turn out to be mid or something like that. Bullshit. The NBA is different now. You can take stair steps to get to the top. You don't have to have one big grand slam swing, and all of a sudden you're up at the top again because of one player you added. Once again, I'll say the person that will do that for us is Brandon Ingram. It is not anybody in the top 10 of the draft. And that is the truth right there. There you go. Monica's smiling. I'm smiling. And it's a good day. That's right. That's what I want to see. That's right. No more crying, tankers. That's right. Most saying this also. Jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get back. I see a lot of different names in the chat this morning. I love it. We want to celebrate today. That's right. Most saying locker room happiness, post-game interviews, everything today going to be an amazing day. RJ is him. That's right. That's right. Of course, Monique is going to be going to the gala, the We the World gala that's going to be down at Exhibition Place, the hobnobbing with the ultra VIPs of Raptors team and staff and Masai. And all of them are going to be down there. And she is so privileged to be able to go to this event. It's a very expensive event. And I'm glad she'll be there. Because honestly, I don't know anybody who's ever gone to this event. And in some ways, I'll be very curious to hear her notes and what she sees there. And like I said, Mo, any kind of thing you want to say to Scotty about Raptor Freaks, please, if you can, just say, the Raptor Freaks say hi. We love you. That's all I want. And if you do talk to Vince, ask him to tell him how you feel about when he left. I'm just saying. But yeah, that event, I believe, is today. So Monique's going to be going to the gala today, later on at Exhibition Place. The Raptors will return, and they don't play tomorrow. So they're going to have a little bit of a big soiree where it's like $1,000 to get in. Seriously, it's crazy. And if you pay $10,000, I think you get to be like able to hang out with the players. It's a very interesting, weird event they've done for a couple years now. That is really like the most exclusive, expensive event that they do. And Monique has gotten the privilege of being invited to it and be there today. And I'm so happy about that because honestly, I've often wondered about this event and what it's all about. I mean, I see people sometimes on social media that go to it and just take pictures of themselves with the players up close. and stuff like that. But she's going to be hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders. And we may see a barrage of Monique pictures with different people coming out in the next 24 hours. In fact, I expect it. I very much expect it. Mo, you have a dream day. Please go down there and have the best day possible. I know you will. You're going to be in heaven. And like I said, if you want to rep the Raptor Freak family in any kind of way, I'd appreciate it, but you don't have to. I don't expect it. And but yeah, if you talk to Scotty, that's the only person I'd care you say, hey, Raptor Freak says what's up. We love you. That's all. Just him. Just him. Let's see. All right. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. Despite the interesting sub with less than 5 minutes remaining in the game, we still managed to get the dub. Great vote of confidence from Darko to Jacoby. You know, Trevor was saying it near the end of the game. Like, this was so funny. Trevor was like, Lex, I want you to go off on Darko tomorrow for what has just happened. Because he was mad. I could tell Trevor was mad because he wanted to win this game. And he saw the writing on the wall when we didn't see Scotty come back in with 5 minutes to go in the game. We didn't see Emmanuel come back in. We didn't see Jakob come back in. Jakob was in foul trouble, but he still had minutes he could play. I think he didn't get his full minutes restriction yesterday. 24, okay, was right on. But still, he could have played, honestly, at the end of the game last night, and that would have really closed the door on the Magic. So Trevor knew what was going on there, and he was like, Lex, if you don't go off on Darko and them for doing this and losing us this game, I'm going to be mad. And I was like, in some ways, I'm going to be with Trevor on this. Yeah. If they slum and try and lose the game right at the end because of the substitutions in the lineup they have out there, so be it. That's the choice. And Darko's just doing what the front office has asked them to do. But this is crazy. Like I said, they had their best lineup out there, their best players for the Magic. And we had our second string and rookies and not a whole lot of experience out there. And they managed to pull it out. It's so, so awesome. But yeah, Trevor, I will not go off on Darko this morning. Because in some ways, I also understand that Darko's just doing what he's being told to do. And it's not really him that's deciding this. He's an ultimate competitor just like the players. He doesn't want to pull punches and lose on purpose, and that's why this game is so glorious and amazing in itself. Because the Raptors really did try to lose last night, but they fucked around and still won anyway. It's so crazy, man. Some people were saying last night, it's like the Raptors can't make this shot when they want to, but they will make the shot when they don't want to. I mean, that's the weird thing, man. That's the weird thing about life, man, sometimes. The Fiercey saying, I like that Trevor J apology accepted, but access denied. Protecting our peace is important. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can keep giving people second chances, but if they haven't really changed their behavior, you're just going to go through the same process of what happened before. It's sad like that. It's sad like that. I mean, some people can change and for the better, and you can give them a second chance and it works out. I'm not going to say that this is not possible, but more often than not, it's lip service and the actions won't change. The words might, but the actions will be exactly the same. And, you got to be aware of that. That's for sure. Yeah, you got to be aware of that. James is saying Jacoby and AJ getting it done. That's right. Let's do more stars of the game. My second star of the game is Jakob Poeltl. Jakob was just really efficient. He's found his rhythm in his third game back, and he's just playing a lot more confident. I really, really did like to see Jakob get pissed off in the middle of the game. Like, he was mad. I feel like Ben Taylor was unfair in giving him a technical for the shove because, honestly, Ben Taylor, I know that's technically what he did, and in some ways he would warrant that, but you allowed so much extracurricular bullshit, physical contact from the Magic that it was insulting to us that the first technical or anything like that was called on Jakob before those other guys. I mean, literally, Jonathan Mobo got hit in the mouth, and he was bleeding all over the court out of his nose. And y'all couldn't call a flagrant on that? Seriously, you couldn't call a flagrant on Wendell Carter's forearm shiver to Jakob's face? You couldn't call a foul on Franz Wagner for making doing very dangerous hits to RJ Barrett's head as he's driving the lane and pulling his head back? Those were flagrant fouls. Like 3 of them. And the first fucking flagrant technical you called was on Jakob for shoving Wendell and protecting his teammate and standing up for them? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And I love how RJ jumped up off the floor like he was coming after somebody. And Jakob grabbed him and stopped him. I'm just saying, man, the bias against the Raptors was shown last night on the down low by the allowance of physicality on our players to a degree where there was no penalty. And then, you know, finally, at some point, they did finally call a flagrant foul on them late in the game. It's after fucking 5 minutes of standing around trying to figure it out, which is another insidious thing because you cool off the teams. And it's like, I hate that bullshit. You know, when you guys do those challenge look ats, you shouldn't be taking longer than 2 minutes. And if people are off the court and not playing for longer than 5 minutes, y'all are not good at your job and you need to do it faster. Seriously, y'all have the fucking replay center and your 3 eyes, sets of eyes, and you can't figure something out in 2 minutes? Why the fuck does it take 5 minutes to review this shit, Ben Taylor? Is it that you're on purpose icing the game? Because that's what it looks like to me, motherfucker. You're icing the game when you do that shit. And like I said, a lot of extracurricular activity was allowed on the Raptors for the longest time. And how long did it take for y'all to finally fucking call a flagrant on the Magic after all the licks? Scotty's out on the court like a DNA scientist saying, there's blood here. There's blood here. This is my best friend's blood on the court right here. This is my friend Jonathan's blood. And you didn't even fucking call a flagrant on that? They busted him in the nose. They hit him hard. He was bleeding all over the place. This guy's out there pointing it out. There's blood here, blood here, blood here. You can't see that, Ben Taylor? You can't see the blood of Mobo on the court? You idiot. Where's the flagrant foul? Seriously, Jakob, 6 for 8 from the field. 5 of 5 to the free throw line. Let's go, Austria. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 fouls, plus 14, 17 points in 24 minutes. He didn't get a double-double, but the efficient 6 for 8, the aggressiveness to score, the anger. He was playing a little bit more angry in the second half, if you didn't notice. A little bit more with more purpose and physicality even. And you know what? Jakob showed, like Serge Ibaka, like Charles Oakley in the past, he'll be that guy, that big physical guy that'll come back and give some receipts on the down low. Because he was doing that on the down low. I'm telling you right now, he got some licks in on Wendell Carter still before the end of the game. And rightfully so, Wendell Carter, you hit job piece of shit artist who's not even a really good basketball player. You're just out there being a bully and a thug and hitting people in the face. That's messed up, man. That's messed up. My third star of the game. I know I didn't even put Jacoby as one of the top 2 stars, guys. My third star of the game is AJ Lawson. Toronto's own AJ Lawson came out there and shot a beautiful 5 for 6, 3 for 4 from 3. Huge points contributed. 26 minutes, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks for AJ also. -8 with 13 points. I'm just super impressed with him shooting 5 of 6. You know, AJ could shoot 5 for 26 in a Raptors 905 game, but 5 for 6, very efficient, really measured. And I'm going to give a lot of credit to RJ for setting up AJ. A lot of AJ's shots, he was assisted by RJ Barrett. And that's like what I said earlier, a natural chemistry, a familiarity, a crude time of being around each other for a long time. It's a very nice chemistry that's just already prepackaged in there. You bring them in. And that's part of the reason why AJ Lawson got that 2-way contract earlier in the season. And if people really think RJ's in trouble on our team, well, why the hell do we have one of his old best friends on our team, just like Jonathan's for Scotty? Because AJ is like that with RJ. And I don't know if enough Raptors fans actually know that connection between AJ Lawson and RJ Barrett. Well, that connection was evident in the game last night. Let's just put it that way. My 4th star of the game is Scott Wayne Barnes. Scotty had a lower scoring game once again, but he got a double-double. He's just doing the stuff we need to be done. Now, Raptors Report came out with a thing recently that I watched on their YouTube channel about Brandon Ingram's usage and how he'll fit in with the Raptors because he's looking at usage percentages and stuff like that. First of all, I want to say this, Raptors Report. Usage as a metric and a stat is something you measure after games. It has nothing to do with pre-planning your games. It has nothing to do with like, oh, we're going to go into the game and we're going to give Brandon 30% of the usage. No, they never do that. They may on the down low have a rough outline of what they want to do. But once again, because Darko's system is a certain way and it's very sharing and it's all over the place and they're trying to crack the defensive system of the other team, it's a Plinko chip that falls through the Plinko boards and just follows wherever it does. And every night, it's not static, Raptors Report. You're not going to have that static usage night in, night out, stay the same every single night. One night may look totally different than another. You can look at averages, you can look at metrics and all this stuff, but it's kind of bullshit, honestly. And you're so worried about adding up percentages of usage. Oh, no, they're 130% usage. That's not 100. That's way too much. What are we going to do? It's so stupid. It's like, listen, every single night's going to look different. One night, Scotty may be 30% usage. One night, RJ may be 30% usage. One night, Emmanuel might be 30% usage, and it'll just switch around. And it may have a lot to do with the matchups that we are facing and the weapons that we have that we can utilize to be more efficiently effective in scoring and winning. And that's why it's like this whole thing about usage and worrying about it is stupid as fuck. Because I'll say this right now, and you're comparing them to the Suns and their usage issues. That's bullshit. That's so stupid. It's really apples to oranges. Because honestly, the Suns have two players that are absolutely the same player in Booker and Beal. And Beal is useless without high usage. That's exactly right, what you said. But you can't say that about Brandon Ingram, because Brandon Ingram is not useless without high usage. That man can pass. That man can rebound. That man can also play defense underratedly. And this is the thing. Even if Brandon doesn't score 25 points a game, he's not going to be upset about that, because he's bought in on Darko's concepts and he's excited about it. I can already tell. And this is the same thing as RJ. It's the same thing as Scotty. They're unselfish. And on different nights, different player stocks will go up as far as their contributions in the usage and how much they're using it. So I just wanted to do this as a friendly reply to Raptors Report on their latest segment and say you're looking at a metric that is used afterwards, and nothing goes into planning or the SOT, and nobody is set in stone for usage. It's not something like, oh, you're this position, you're guarding this person. No, you go into the game and the usage gets sorted out as the game goes on. And that's why your commentary about usage worries about Brandon Ingram is stupid, because it's going to fit different ways every single night. One night, Emmanuel may be 10% usage, but he may be 20 on one night. He may be 30 on one night, and so and so. And a lot of it will have to do with the matchup right there. So I just want to do a little retort on that. I think the guy does good work overall on Raptors Report, but in some ways that's fear-mongering and making people feel like, oh, Brandon's not going to fit. Brandon's not going to fit. That's bullshit. Brandon Ingram may one night have 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists and 2 blocks. And that's a good night for him because we still won. And it's not necessarily about how much he scores. Seriously. I think that that's the thing that people are not going to understand, is that Brandon Ingram does not have to score 25 to 30 points every night. He may some nights, and he may very well do it very often, but in some nights he might not have to, and he'll still contribute to the team and more in the slant like Scotty does. Maybe he's giving more contributions on the boards and defending in different ways. You're going to see it when it comes, seriously. And you'll be surprised that Brandon is going to be a more complete player for the Raptors than he was in any place he ever played before, because he's going to be buying into our system, and it'll be look like RJ, like he's become a more complete player in our system, because that's what this system asks of them. It's not just about scoring for each guy, and these guys aren't orienting their life around scoring. They're about deflections. They're about assignments and making sure you're covering your assignments and not blowing your assignments. They're about connection and getting assists. I mean, the unselfish passing of the Raptors shows it right there. If we have ball hogs and people are worried about taking up usage, the system would be showing them right away. And the system's not showing that. It's not that Scotty's a ball hog. It's not that RJ's a ball hog. They get their usage. They get the ball in their hands. But they're quite often passing the ball off to somebody else like A.J. Lawson to get the points still. So I just say that, man. Scotty Barnes in this kind of game, 17 points in 30 minutes, 6 of 13 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 4 of 5 at the free throw line, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers. The 5 offensive rebounds by Scott were huge. And in some ways, that's something. We got Brandon and RJ scoring a bunch. If Scotty wants to just be a crazy-ass rebounder and dominate the boards, that's allowable, because he doesn't have to put all of his energy into carrying the team offensively, because Brandon and RJ are doing a lot of the scoring. Do you understand that there's puzzle pieces and things that got to be done? And in some ways, some of our guys may not always be scorers. They're going to have to do the other things on certain nights, and maybe not so much the scoring. And the one thing, once again, is the Raptors have an abundance of talent, and that's never a problem. That is never a problem. We want as many good players as we want, because look, Grady's hurt, Oshai's hurt, Jonathan's hurt. We need next man up. And if you don't have enough talent all the way down into your rookies like Jacoby and Jamal, well, you're going to hit a wall of where you're in trouble. And, well, last night we played a backup team and beat a starters team of the Magic. And that's impressive to me. I'm just saying, you can never have enough talent. And everybody who thinks we have too much talent right now, you're crazy. Are they saying that about other teams in the league right now? The Knicks have too much talent? No, they're not. So why do y'all say that about us, is what I'm going to say right now. Jacoby Walter, is my fifth star of the game. It really is for the shot. I was kind of upset with Jacoby at the beginning of the game because I've gotten accustomed to Jacoby playing a very efficient, smart, mature game with very few mistakes, not very many turnovers, very smart shot selection. And right off the bat, from the beginning of the game, he missed a blown defensive assignment and got scored on right away at the beginning of the game. And then he had a turnover at the other end in the first possession for the Raptors and turned the ball over. He did have some turnovers early in the game, and that really was a bad tone that was set for the Raptors. We had 15 turnovers in the first quarter last night, and we just couldn't keep the ball there. The Magic are so bad, they couldn't run away from us. They couldn't get going offensively to just absolutely stomp us. And any other team in the league might have in this situation with 15 turnovers in the first quarter. But, in some ways, that's Jacoby. He's a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes. And in some ways, because he was starting, he was more usage and more involved in the game than just a bench. In some ways, you come off the bench, you have a limited amount of minutes. You really want to be as perfect as possible in your play. If you're playing more minutes, well, then you got to start to see where he may be a little more looser and there may be a little more mistakes. And that's what happened last night. So in some ways, I was mad at Jacoby in the first half. I'm not going to lie. I was like, Jacoby's messing up too much. He's not guarding enough. He's not doing this. And I'd said before the game in the chat, I feel like Jacoby's going to have a huge game tonight because he's starting. And in some ways, he's showing the signs of a bust out at some point. Well, he didn't really exactly bust out, but he did at the end with that clutch action and making that shot. And that was amazing. 4 for 10 for Jacoby, 2 of 4 from 3, 7 of 8 at the free throw line. He was finding his way to the free throws. He was getting in there and getting contact and getting the free throw lines. I liked seeing that. 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers, a +4 with 17 points for Jacoby Walter. Absolutely won us the game. Game winner hit, first one of his career. He's going to get many more. Trust me. He's going to get many more. But yeah, he pissed me off in the beginning. But that's the thing with these guys. Shed, Mobo, Walter, they're all rookies. They're going to get mistakes. They're going to screw up. They'll be like Grady coughing up the ball at the end of the game the other night when he had a perfect rebound and he just lost it. That kind of shit's just going to happen because these guys are young and they have to make their mistakes as young players in the league. But man, Jacoby, wow, clutch shot, big time stuff right there. Big time stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying, Lex, maybe it's a test on the down low. They put up weird lineups and it challenged the rookies in 2 ways to push themselves and prove they are them. Nevertheless, great for development. Well, it's a really low risk situation in some ways because in a lot of ways we do want to lose. And in some ways I love it because they probably did intend for us to lose the lead in that time. With RJ coming out at that particular time, it's like, okay, this is the lead. Let's do the math. Is this enough time for the Magic to catch up and take over us? But the Magic are so inept and really bad at scoring, they couldn't make the deal done. It's very similar to the game on Sunday. The same kind of thing happened. In some ways, we were kind of rolling over and letting them win both games, but they weren't good enough or able to do it. Chicago could. Chicago had crazy ass Kobe White come out and hit a 4-point play right at the end to absolutely win it. And that's the difference right there. In some ways, all 3 of these games that we just played should have been losses for the Raptors, but Orlando's so bad at making something happen that we won both the games against the Magic. It's crazy. I mean, this is huge. High risk, high reward. No, low risk, high reward, because there's low risk in losing. There's we fuck around and win. Well, look at this. We got a high reward. We gained confidence for Jacoby. We gained confidence for our young players. It was a very good win for our camaraderie and our energy and our swag. So it's like, what's not to like? I mean, it was very low risk. You play them out there. We lose. Well, they expect that. That's what some ways some people want. But then you win. Wow. Look at all the rewards for it. Look at the good feelings. Look at the confidence. Look at the things you just gave Jacoby Walter. That's what I'm saying right there. It's amazing. Nins is saying, even before the game winner, I was fucking aesthetic. I was ecstatic. Yeah, I didn't mean to send that. Aesthetic. You mean ecstatic. Yeah. Nins, it was awesome. That's what I'm saying. Raptors fans need to just go with the flow. Any Raptors fans who's like stressed out and negative or feeling bad, you are in the wrong place. Everything's gravy right now. You should be happy about whatever happens. We lose. Okay, that's great. We win. That's fantastic. But people are upset that we're winning. Really search your feelings about who you are. in some ways, like I said, if you're not going with the emotions of the team players themselves, you're not really on the same page with the Raptors, is what I'm going to say right here. So I love it. I think that this is one of the easiest seasons to cover. I thought it would be one of the hardest seasons to cover on this channel, but this has become one of the easiest seasons. Last season was way harder than this because I hated losing without Scotty and Jakob in the second half of the season. There were a lot of losses this time of this year, and it was depressing, and it was a grind to get out. But this season, in some ways, I know in some ways losing is winning, and there's nothing to lose. So either way, I'm happy. I'm smiling. And that makes this season easier. So yeah. Fiercely saying, fuck ESPN. We already know they're trash. Yeah, I don't know. They can go ahead and leave us at the bottom of the standings in their power rankings. We're ranked 26 still. We didn't move up or down, even though Toronto may not have much to play for standings wise over the closing weeks of the season. Okay, Tim Bontemps. But that Raptors do have going for them is Emmanuel Quickley and Scotty Barnes have finally been able to get extended court time together. Both have dealt with injuries since Quickley arrived in Toronto last season. But in 20 games playing together this season, their combined scoring average is a team high 58.5 points. That will help the Raptors assess how they want to put players around their two young tentpole performers moving forward. That's what Tim Bontemps saying on the ESPN Power Rankings this morning. I still don't understand how they can conveniently leave out the leading scorer for the Raptors this year, RJ Barrett. It's just a media blackout for Toronto's own, Toronto's player, Toronto's superstar, RJ Barrett. Yeah, 10 polls, sure. But man, how can you leave out the guy who's actually the leading scorer for the Raptors this year? RJ Barrett, because that's the truth. He is. Smooth's here. Good to see Reggie. Watching Bernie Sanders respond. All right, I really don't want to do politics today. I really, really don't. We had a good win. And in some ways, I should have said this off the top. I don't want to do politics today. I'm going to read this comment and I'll respond to it. But everybody else who writes anything political about the U.S. or anything right now, just delete it right now because I want to enjoy the celebration of winning last night. And I don't want to go into this world right now. But I'll read this one comment. If you do have any more political comments that are in the chat, guys, take them out right now. Watching Bernie Sanders' response to the State of the Union address that last night is quite a watch. Like I suggest you watch it. I did watch it. I didn't watch the State of the Union address. In some ways, I watched Bernie Sanders last night, and I just acted like he's the president. I said, this is the leader of this country that's sane. This is the leader that most of the people in this country love and want more than that fuckface who's, a criminal. So, yeah, I did watch it, Smooth. I've already seen it. I watched it afterwards. I did not watch a single minute of the 90 minutes that Trump said because I don't fill my head with garbage. And I listened to the response by Bernie. And Bernie said a lot of good things. So I appreciate you bringing it up. I did watch it. I watched it live when he did it, just so you know, after the game. Ninja's saying what I meant to say was even before the game winner, I was fucking ecstatic with how Jacoby was playing. He plays with so much heart, really knows what to do with the ball in most situations already. Yeah, just like RJ and Jakob got hit in the face, so did Jacoby. And did he back down from that kind of energy, that physicality? No, he kept going the lane and trying to score and taking the hits and bouncing back up. And in some ways, that was why Jakob got on Wendell Carter, because he hit the rookie and put him on the floor in a very not good way. Wendell Carter Jr., fuck you, man. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You fucking masquerading as an NBA player. You're not an NBA player. You're just a big goon is what you are, man. And I love seeing Jakob stand up for Jacoby. But that's part of the process right there. It's like, look, this is the NBA. It's physical. And RJ loves it. He revels it. He's like, this is shit. This kind of shit doesn't scare RJ. In fact, he thrives in it. He thrives in it. You're going to hit me in the face? Oh, now it's on. I'm coming back at you, and I'm going to score on you. I love that. I love that energy from those three guys because those three guys were the guys who were getting the brunt of a lot of that extracurricular physical stuff that was absolutely dirty. Hits to the head are absolutely wrong, Ben Taylor. And there was a lot of flagrant fouls that were going on that were absolutely dangerous to these players. You should not be striking people with forearms and fists to people's faces in NBA games. And it's a shame on the ref crew that they did not control this sooner in the game, considering the opportunities and the possibilities of people getting very seriously hurt. So, yeah, I think that was messed up. But, yeah, Jacoby showed some extracurricular moxie in meeting the physicality of the Magic and not shying away from it. And that is in partly the shot at the end, too. I mean, the guy, Franz was right up on him when he took that shot. It was very physical. And if you notice, Jacoby didn't shoot that shot normal. That was not his normal shot technique. he was kind of all and like woo, and it was kind of a trick shot. It was a baller shot, and that's why I say in some ways Jacoby Walter is like a DeMar DeRozan or a Jamal Crawford because he's a baller and he can put the ball in the hoop. And that's what he did at the end of the game last night. That's right. G saying they were clearly pulling punches, but Raptors youth said not tonight. I know. Don't you love that, G? I know G's like me, man. He's a real one, just like Mo. He's a day oneer with my channel right here. G, original Raptor Freak Trivia champion. Gee, wasn't that cool? Like the Raptors youngsters said, no, we're flipping the script. I understand what you're trying to do right here, Bobby Webster. We understand what you're trying to do, Darko, with your subs. But listen, the action is to play to win. And the Raptors rookies went and played to win, and they did. And I love that so much. Didn't that make your heart smile? It's just like that Robert Redford meme when you're looking over at the shoulder from Sundance Kid and all that stuff. Yeah, I see what you did there. You guys are badasses. Because that's how it felt to me last night. And that's why I was so jubilant about it. Because in some ways, it's weird when you're going up against a team that's dirty. You're going up against refs that are just not fair, honestly. Ben Taylor, you really showed your ass and showed that you do kind of fuck over the Raptors still. And then you're going against your own team trying to lose on purpose and you still win? Priceless, baby. Priceless. That's what I'm saying right there. That's priceless. Right there, that's priceless. Fiercely saying RJ absolutely deserved the chain. You see everywhere, please don't trade RJ. Goodness, people. Come on now. Yeah, I know. I really don't think that he's in danger. I think this is manufactured bullshit that people are trying to make Raptors fans be fearful of. But, everybody says the same thing. Darko said at the end of the game last night in his press conference, RJ is an important player of our team and our future, and we love him. And him playing for his team matters. So, it's one thing that people out there are going to say shit and make up shit, and people will buy it, and they'll float around with it and say it over and over again. But the reality of the situation within the organization and the people that are involved could be a totally different thing, and people are just filling in the blanks once again. When there's an empty coloring book with no colors in there, well, assholes are going to come in and color the colors into the coloring book that they want to color. And that's the thing. Bobby Messiah aren't going to tell everybody what's going on. I mean, everybody should just be like, okay, this is the contract. RJ's on our team till 2027. And there's no problems here. They manufacture the problems like the usage problem that Raptors report brings up. That's bullshit too. Oh, we can't keep RJ too because there's just one ball and there's not enough balls for Scotty, Emmanuel, RJ, and Brandon. Bullshit, there is. And it's just going to be that these guys are going to flesh out their games more complete than just scoring. I think that's the problem. Once again, too many newer fans or certain fans, metric fans, only look at scoring, and scoring is the only thing. No, there's all kinds of ways you can contribute to help winning, and all these guys know that, and they're willing to sacrifice certain things sometimes offensively for the whole entire team winning. And I think that's the thing that's lost on it. Is like it's such a selfish world right now. Everybody's just get mine. I got to get mine. I'm for me. Me. They think all the players are like that. But that's not the culture around the Raptors. The Raptors are all for one for all. They celebrate each other's successes. They're unselfish. The fans are selfish in their heads. They're the ones who bring up this bullshit and make all these problems. It's not the players. Brandon Ingram gets it, and he loves it. Some way, why wouldn't he love this? It's like, look, okay, yeah, I'm already making $40 million. I'm going to make $40 million no matter what. It doesn't matter if I average 25 points a game or not. I could average 18 points per game for the Raptors. And if we were winning, I don't care. I love that because I'm playing a more complete game. We're playing winning basketball. We're playing as a team, and we're having success. You think he would rather have that than score 30 points a night for the Pelicans, carrying them and never win? That's what I'm saying. These guys are not wasting their NBA careers to try and lose. If they can get in a good situation where the players listen to the coach and they play together and they're in a good situation like Brandon just landed in, they're happy, even if their stats suffer for it. I'm telling you right now. Kaz is saying Orlando Magic are a sad team right now. Yeah, how are they 18 on the power rankings, ESPN? Are you not paying attention? You can't put them at 18 on the power rankings. We're 27. How the fuck is that? I've seen these two teams play 2 games in a row. I've seen enough. You need to switch us automatically right now. We need their spot right now because obviously we're better than them. 18th spot we need to be in, and you could put them at 26. Seriously, in the power rankings. This is crazy. It's so stupid. I don't understand this, Kaz. I don't. Nako's here. Good to see Gerald. Gerald's in the house. They were missing Suggs, though that doesn't mean they're complete. Seeing Jacoby get that shot is as good as any development play you can see because that was a hard 3. Man, Gerald, don't even tell me, oh, they were missing Suggs. Come on now. Who were we missing? Seriously, we're missing Brandon. We're missing Oshai. We're missing Grady. We lost Jonathan halfway through the game. I mean, come on, man. Oh, they're missing Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. Woo-hoo-hoo. Mo Wagner. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's not the same. It's not the same. And Jalen Suggs isn't Franz and Paulo. He may be one of the more important players for them defensively, but they got their best offensive players. And like I said, this is the worst I've seen Orlando all year. These 2 games we played them, they played better early this year without Banchero and Franz in the first game we played against them. What the fuck happened to them is what I'm wondering here. What the fuck had happened there? That's crazy. Yeah, Fiercely saying it felt extremely good to see them winning and being ecstatic. I'm pretty sure Darko is testing and pushing them in a positive way, of course. Well, yeah, in some ways, this was totally a test because they're saying, look, in some ways, we don't mind losing. We're going to put you youngsters out there in the fire and let's see if you thrive. We're throwing you in the deep end. Can you swim? Yeah, they can swim. They can do all the strokes, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke. They can tread water. Yeah, those rookies can swim, and they can swim against the starters of the Magic, apparently. So, I mean, yeah, that's amazing. And, once again, a lot of the personnel decisions, like Chris not playing, that's a lot to do with Bobby Webster. Smile in the background, guys. You got to remember this. In some ways, you got to remember this. In some ways, this is actually maybe good for Chris staying on the team because if Chris doesn't play as much, maybe he'll be able to get on a lower contract because of that. I know that's kind of insidious and wrong, but let's not get it twisted. Chris is making $10 million a year. He's very, very happy. And in some ways, he's not a totally greedy person. But in some ways, could you see Bobby and Masai trying to not play him as much during the end because they want to have a more affordable contract to re-sign him next year? They play him too much. They bring his value up, and then all of a sudden he has a crazy free agency kind of thing. So in some ways, Raptors fans, if you love Chris Boucher and you want him to stay on the Raptors for next year, maybe we need to hide him on the bench so that he doesn't have such a frenzy in free agency this summer coming at him to try and take him to other teams. He's going to anyway. But if we want to keep him in the puzzle pieces that fit with the money and the salary cap, we may need to sit him so he's not showing off how good he is for the rest of the league and increasing his value on the free agency market this summer. Does that make sense to you? So it's like, don't get mad because he's not playing Chris. In some ways, it actually checks off a couple accomplishments. That, what I just said. And also, it doesn't help us to win if Chris is playing. It helps us to win if he is playing. And that's why they don't play him in some ways. So, yeah, Mo's saying that Jacoby making NBA Instagram looking good. NBA Game Time talking about I love it. It's a big time thing. The NBA loves game buzzer winners. And if Jacoby Walters going to have that kind of thing and they put it on blast, hey, that's great for the Raptors. That's great for Jacoby. And in some ways, I love the attention he's given us on the whole NBA scale. For sure, Monique, for sure. Let me go look at the rest of the players on the box score real quick. Emmanuel was not bad. He gets the honorable mention. 4 for 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 5 of 7 from free throw, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 15 points, a +2. In some ways, Shed was more important in certain times, but Emmanuel still shows his little moments where he absolutely can score whenever he wants. And, he's going to be so much better and better. And Tim Bontemps is right. This time with Scotty and Emmanuel playing together is very, very valuable. In fact, they were tethered together kind of with their minutes last night. When Scotty was in, Emmanuel was out there with them. And when they came out together. But yeah, they've been doing that on the down low for a couple games now where Quickly and Jakob have been very tied to Scotty's minutes and being out there around Scott when he's out there and getting as much time with those guys together. But Emmanuel was solid. He is only 15 points. He could have added more, but he wasn't hurting us either in a lot of ways. He was very helpful, very, very helpful. Going on the bench, Jonathan got hit in the nose and he had to leave the game. He got a goose egg, 0 for 2, 3 rebounds and 1 turnover, a +2 in only 7 minutes. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that was dirty. That should have been a flagrant. And in some ways, when that happened, I thought the sight of his best friend's blood on the court might get Scotty to get pissed off. But no, it was RJ and Jakob who got really pissed off and started doing stuff in the second half. Orlando Robinson, solid. On the day that Orlando Robinson got his 2-way contract converted to a regular season contract for the rest of the season, no years after this. He's just signed for the rest of the season. It's all open for the summer, whether we're going to add him back. He's a free agent this summer, and we probably will on a very affordable contract get him back next year. I think he's done a really good job of fitting in. And as they said in the broadcast, Orlando said I did everything that they asked me to do, and I got rewarded with it. And that's a really good thing. Like when you're a player, You want the team and the coach and the front office to be upfront with you and say, this is what we expect. And if you can do this, this is what you'll get. And, you could do all that sometimes in the NBA and you don't get it after all. That's the sad thing. You could do everything right, everything they asked of you, but because of money or a limited amount of roster positions, whatever, you could still get screwed. So I like the whole fact that Orlando Robinson got what was promised to him. And, that's the thing. He's still on a tryout, just like Jared Rhoden, just like AJ Lawson, because, you play more with the Raptors right now. You fit in more, you do more. You're going to get a contract for next year, too, in the summer. And that's why you still need to keep going. I feel like Orlando Robinson has been a mixed bag of failure and success for sure. In some ways, I wish he was stronger around the basket with making sure the ball would go in. Sometimes he doesn't go strong to the basket and he misses bunnies. Sometimes he messes up in certain ways. But you know what? I also see his doggedness on defense. I see the impact he has as a second big man on the court with physical presence, that he's absolutely valuable because we do need more centers on our team. So even though they didn't sign him to a contract yesterday that goes beyond the season, I fully expect he will get a contract this summer with the Raptors, staying with us on a very affordable contract that'll be really good for the team and him. And he's been great. He's been absolutely great. I'm really liking Orlando. Now, he is the -13. He was the worst plus minus on the court last night, but he's just physical out there and he's fighting. 1 for 3, 4 offensive rebounds, 5 altogether, 2 assists, 1 block, 2 points for Orlando. Jared Rhoden came in. He contributed some of the points off the bench. Very, very helpful. 2 for 5, 0 for 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 block, 4 points for Jared. And then Shed, 3 for 10 off the bench, 1 for 4, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 1 rebound, 5 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 5 fouls, 8 points for Jamal Shed. And Shed was getting really good. As much as Jacoby got that experience, Jamal got really high stakes, high pressure, crunch time minutes, running the team as the point. And when RJ went out, that really was Jamal's show for kind of directing things and getting them organized and getting them right. Jamal was the guy who inbounded the ball to Jacoby Walter on his 3-point shot that won the game. So, yeah, Jamal, really, really good, crucial development leadership time for him in very, very high stakes pressure situation. In some ways, once again, I'll compare him to Fred VanVleet in his rookie year. Fred never got in this kind of situation in his rookie year like this and never got the opportunities to do this. And Freddie, we see where his course went with his career. Well, in some ways, Jamal's getting way more opportunities than Fred did in his rookie year, and he's excelling and he's shining. And last night, man, a lot of players like Jamal wouldn't get an opportunity to do a game like last night until like 3 or 4 years into their career before they be trusted to do this. So this is a huge thing. It's a really, really huge thing that these youngsters closed it out and won this game last night on their own against the script. It's really, really cool. Reggie's saying, like I said, front office wants to lose, but if they stumble in a few wins, so be it. That's why I say this, man. Like, why are you going to tell people that basically they wanted to play in the NBA all their lives? Well, lose on purpose now. It's just not right. It's just not right. And I love what Kia said. Once again, Kia Nurse, thank you for elaborating on the player's perspective in this kind of situation. And honestly, once again, if you're for the Raptors, be with them and how they feel in the moment. If they want to win and they see the promise in winning and not caring about ping pong balls and getting in the play-in and trying to do their very best, you need to go with them because they're the men who are doing it. They're the men that earn the money and put in the blood, sweat, and tears and the work in their lives for years and years of their lives to get to this point. And it's really kind of insulting that couch potatoes and people that sit at home on the internet all day are fucking telling these guys to lose on purpose. That's what I say to it right there. That's what I say to it right there. Yeah, Infamous saying, salute, freaks. Anyone confused about if we were tanking or not? That game proves for sure we were tanking. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Consider it true. But you know what? The wind can blow in different directions and change direction really quick. And in some ways, opportunity and things happen from, success. And there was success last night. And in some ways, it's like, we don't want to manipulate our position in the standings completely because once again, there's a folly to that philosophy because ultimately the ping pong balls decide anyway. So it's like you can really pinpoint, well, we need to land the plane on our spot in the standings exactly in this slot between this team and not this far up in the standings, that doesn't matter because none of that will actually control what happens with us in the draft. It may change the percentages of what could be possible, but ultimately those ping pong balls are going to decide, and they're chaos agents. And in some ways, last year, Atlanta getting the first pick shows you all you need to know about playing for a specific spot in the play for ping pong balls. It's folly. You need to just play. And in some ways, you can't control what the Sixers are going to do. You can't control what the Pelicans are going to do. You can't control what the Nets are going to do either. Now, last year when we did this is a good way to test and look at what we're probably going to do. Is we very closely paid attention to the Grizzlies and where they were with their win total near the end of the season with our playoff, our positioning with the draft. And in some ways, they were kind of on the down low, waiting for the Grizzlies to get a win here so that they could safely get a win under that. Now, right now, the Nets and the Sixers have 21 wins, and we have 20. So we're like a 1 win below them. Now, the other thing is we have more losses than them. We've already played more games than the Nets and the Sixers. So in some ways, it's deceiving to say, oh, we only have one less win than them, because it's really the loss category you could look at and see, okay, yeah, we're way below them in certain ways because they've played more games than us, or we've played more games than them. So we'll have to see. A lot of it will be gauging, all right, Brooklyn and Sixers have this many wins. How many wins do we have? Are we over them? No, we're at 20, and they're both at 21. So we'll have to see. The games against those two teams will be very interesting when we get to play the Nets and the Sixers twice more times, both of them. So there's 4 games that those situations where the thinking about tanking philosophy is going to be very, very intertwined with what's going on. And it may be from all 3 teams. The Nets have their objectives in certain ways. You know, Nick Nurse and the Sixers, they're folding up camp. They're shutting down Embiid. And it's obvious that they are going to just try and continue to lose. You know, this is a crazy thing. I ask Raptors fans, which would you care about the most? Would you like to sweep Nick Nurse and the Philadelphia 76ers this year and say that we beat Philadelphia 4-0? And if you think about where we were last summer and where they were last summer, and if you were saying, oh my gosh, we swept the Sixers this year, how would you feel about that? It's Nick Nurse, remember, is still kind of a grudge match. And second, you know what? So what if we let the Sixers get their protected pick in the top 6? Have they ever shown a track record that they can handle top picks correctly and get anything out of them? No. And don't talk about Joel Embiid. In fact, he's been the worst draft pick they've made because he gets in the way of them winning. The only draft pick that he got right in the last 10 years is Tyrese Maxey. So why the fuck would we be worried about the Sixers adding another player in the top 10 because they protected their pick? Seriously, the track record of their franchise shows failure at the top of the draft. Markelle Fultz, Jahlil Okafor, and all kinds of other names like that. So I would just say this. To me, beating Nick Nurse and sweeping the Sixers is more important than being below them in the standings. Seriously. If we end up at the end of the year in the Atlantic Division above Brooklyn and the Sixers, I will be ecstatic because I don't want to be at the bottom of the Atlantic Division. I'd like to look down on those 2 teams and have a higher record. And I don't give a shit about ping pong balls. I really, really don't. I don't care if the Nets and the Sixers draft higher in this draft than us. I really don't. Some people say, what are you talking about? They're going to get better because of that. Where's the track record of these teams getting better? Seriously, because of draft picks. Where's the track record of this? That team drafted Ben Simmons at the first pick. That's all you need to know. So I'm just saying, y'all, I'd much rather sweep the Sixers and be above them in the standings than fucking worry about them and them protecting their pick because they're bottom 6. You know, I don't care about whether they get their pick or not because they're such a bad front office. They'll fumble it. Trust me. They'll fumble it. Yeah. Oh, man. We didn't talk about some stuff right now. Yeah, we're talking about some stuff. That's right. Fiercely saying, wow, AJ stepping up and showing us he deserves to be with the main squad. Well, that was one thing. Like Jillian said, oh, these virgins are in the game. I was like, they aren't virgins. You know, Jared Rhoden and AJ Lawson are 3rd-year players in this league that have NBA experience in other places, like Jared with Detroit and Charlotte. And AJ Lawson was playing in the finals last year for the Dallas Mavericks. In fact, he played a lot of playoff games last year in the Mavericks' run to the finals against the Celtics. AJ Lawson played in the finals last year. He has experience. He knows what he's doing. He's been a rotational player on a finals team in the NBA. So, yeah, AJ is a weird player, man. He's got a lot of talent. He's very fast, but in some ways he plays out of control sometimes. And he has to rein it in and maybe slow down a little bit sometimes. That's his biggest problem is he needs to slow down sometimes. Seriously. Guys saying so many Instagram stories from the players of Jacoby's game winner. You can tell they really love playing together. AJ was so impressive. Yeah, he really played efficiently. And that's why I had to give him a star of the game at third. Because man, 5 or 6 is fantastic. Listen, some of the 905 games he's been playing recently, he's been shooting way too much. And the quality of his shots have been very poor. And they've not been anywhere going in. In fact, he's hurt the 905 at times because of that. He has hurt them at times. Let me go look at the box score a little bit more. We'll look at the other side real quick. Corey Joseph getting the start last night. Of course, Corey's funny. Corey's one of Jack Armstrong's favorite people. We see the CN Tower on the back of his arm. He's a little bit of a dirty player. He's like those other guys. He's such a big guy now. Like Corey Joseph's such a thick dude at this point. And there was some fun back and forth between him and Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter even. Like, you know, Corey's a nice guy. I like Corey, but he is somebody who comes very hard at the Raptors when he plays against them. KCP came out at the gate shooting really, really well. He was like coming out and he was their best offensive player for the first quarter. I didn't mind that because he's on my Raptor Freak fantasy team. But yeah, KCP doing something. Paulo with a big 41 and Franz with 28. And that's like what, 69 points between the two of them, and they still can't win. They have to carry so much, those two players, and the rest of their team doesn't do jack shit. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. So, yeah, Tristan Da Silva, they're right. The broadcast is right. The Jack Armstrong and Matt Devlin saying that the Magic need to figure out how to get their rookie Da Silva more on the level with Franz and Paulo and get him more shots. They're exactly right. But I'm like, shut up. Don't tell them. Don't tell them that. Seriously. Yeah, on the team stats, it's interesting because we didn't really shoot better than them. We shot worse than them. And considering how bad they are on offense, how is that possible? They made more shots than us. It was really that they were so physical that Ben Taylor and them had to call fouls, and we got the foul line way more than them. And we made 5 more points, actually 8 more points up at the free throw line. The free throw line is where we made up the difference because, and I'm glad we shot fairly well at it. If we hadn't shot as well at the free throw line, we lose. It's a 1-point victory, right? Seriously. So 26-35 by the Raptors. We could have shot even better, and it would have been better. But yeah, 74% at the free throw line. They shot better at the free throw line, but we had a better amount of free throws, and that's actually their philosophy backfiring on them. They fouled so much that they put us on the line so much that we won by 1 point because they outshot us at field goals, 3 points, and free throws. We didn't shoot better than them in any of the 3 categories. How did we win? Because they fouled so much, we went to the line a lot. We did out rebound them. That was a huge key factor, 48-35. That was really, really good. The assists were even, 28 for each team. And they got 12 steals. In fact, turnovers were a huge problem for the Raptors last night. 20 turnovers altogether. Of course, 15 in the first quarter. So only 5 for the last 3 quarters. So they did really tighten things up and take care of the ball way better as the game went on. They were a disaster in the first quarter, though. Really, really bad. And they would have blown out the Magic if they hadn't turned the ball over so much. They would have blown them out in the first quarter and would have just rocketed way past them with scoring if we hadn't kept turning the ball over. Points in the paint, 50-38. Yeah, we were just dominating them bigs-wise. Seriously. Wendell Carter Jr., you could be a punk and try and hit our guys, but we dominated you, man. And we tore you guys up on the inside. So, yeah, good job, Raptors. Good job. You can't hate this kind of stuff. Seriously, you can't. All right, Kaz is saying Instagram stories, so why don't we go there since he brought it up? Jared Rodent is celebrating that he got a 2-way contract yesterday with the Raptors. This is a fantastic achievement for him. He's going to be able to play 15 out of the 20 games for the Raptors on his 2-way. He's eligible for that many. And, of course, this does still mean he will be playing for 905. And in some ways, we're speculating now that Lawson and Rodent have come up and played with the Raptors, and it looks like they're going to be doing some of the stuff like Mo Gay and JFL did last year around this time from the G League, that the 905 are in trouble because not only they don't have any of the rookies for our team coming down there anymore, now they may have Lawson and Rodent not around as much. But I don't think that's going to be totally true. They're playing tomorrow against College Park Skyhawks in Mississauga, and because both teams will be at home, there is a little bit of action where Jared Rhoden and AJ Lawson can kind of do double duty for both teams. I fully expect Rhoden and Lawson and hopefully whoever's available. I don't think Shed will go there or Jacoby, but and Mobo may be hurt right now. But I expect Lawson and Rhoden to report and play for the Raptors 905 against the College Park Skyhawks tomorrow. And it's not a big deal if they do a back-to-back in some sort of way. But they're also playing again on Friday. And there's a Raptors game on Friday against Utah. So I don't know. We'll have to see how they manage that. But I think they'll play against College Park on the first game on Thursday. But we'll see. We'll see. Andrew Jones is going to be in big trouble since there's such a talent drain from his team as this G League season goes on. And if Rhoden and Lawson are not going to be there anymore, that's a huge blow. That's going to be a huge blow. And it could be like that. Also, Jared Rhoden is celebrating Tyson Etienne, who's gotten a new two-way contract with the Brooklyn Nets. So he's looking at that, and it's like real bad man. He's got the highlight of Jacoby getting hugged by everybody. I love seeing Brandon Ingram run out on the court and join this team as a teammate and really celebrate this. It's so weird for Brandon. He hasn't played a minute for us, and he's so ensconced in our culture, and he's really vibing with it. And he hasn't even played a single damn minute of basketball for the Raptors, and he feels it. I mean, the fun of being on the Raptors, he's probably like, this is so cool, man. We just won this game. We weren't supposed to. And he's out there really celebrating with them too. So you can really tell Brandon's one of them. He really is. You can tell. Scotty Barnes putting the Walter shot on there. You like that, Wubbs, is what he's saying. You like that. I love that Scotty is like really embracing the youngster and being a baller. I know from Twitch and watching Scotty play with people, when he has a good player on his team, like Durante or somebody like that, he really like has an affinity for players on his team that are capable and do good things and help the team to win. And I know Scotty loves Jacoby Walter, especially after seeing that big shot that he hit last night. He's like, you like that. It's what he's saying. You like that. He is like that, Scott. It's cold. And there, man, it's so awesome. So awesome to see. There's a picture of him celebrating with AJ Lawson. He's even putting AJ Lawson on blast. AJ Lawson, big time. So Scotty's loving the contributions of Walter and Lawson to get the win for us. A big, huge three by AJ Lawson last night to help us. Yeah, and he did a jersey swap with the player last night. I'm not sure who this is. Some guy named Dexter Sr., number 99, did a jersey swap with Scotty after the game. They both signed each other's jerseys and gave them to each other. So I don't know. What team is he on? That's not Broncos, is it? Kareem, is that Broncos? Dexter Sr., it's an orange jersey. Is it a college one, though? Maybe it's Clemson or Florida. Not Florida. That doesn't look like a Florida jersey. That looks more like a Clemson or a Auburn jersey or something like that. I don't know. It's an orange jersey. Dexter Sr., I don't know who he plays for, but he was there with Scotty after the game doing a jersey swap. Jamal Shed is showing how his friend has put up a new jersey, signed jersey in a frame, and it's Shed's 23 for the Raptors up at somebody's new jersey put up. That's awesome. I love to see that. It's probably a bunch of Houston guys. Now, Jacoby did something at the end of the game in the post-game interview that he's in trouble with his teammates for. He said he this is so stupid and funny. But Kayla, all right, first of all, they came over and dumped water on him right before his interview with Kayla. And Kayla's like, oh, you need to be cooled off. And I think they got her a little bit. She was a little miffed. But Jacoby said when he shot the shot, he said under his breath, Kobe. I mean, listen, I know the guy's named after Kobe Bryant. I know that this is what young people have done forever on basketball courts. When you're playing and just having fun, you say Kobe and you take the shot and you make it. Well, Jacoby did that last night, apparently. He yelled Kobe under his breath and made the shot over Franz at the last second. But this is the thing. This is the reaction of the rookies with him. Jamal and Jonathan are saying, oh, you're in trouble, bro. We can't let this one slide because he said Kobe on the broadcast. And I think that what they're saying is Jamal Shed's saying that he owes them $1,500 now. Like he's fined for saying the Kobe thing in the post-game interview. Because that's what it says right here. Jamal's saying minus 1,500, bro. So I think they're fining Jacoby for name dropping Kobe Bryant in his post-game interview afterwards. And it's funny because the guys who are enforcing this are the other two rookies, Jonathan Mobo and Jamal Shed. It's not Scotty. It's not RJ. It's not any of them. So they have some rules for Jacoby that he can't be saying something about Kobe Bryant, I guess. I don't know. That's what it seems like. Monique has got the celebration on her Instagram right now. I love to see it. It's such a glorious moment. Open gym moments are the best. Throwing all the water on him. OG's not there. So Jacoby's not getting pelted with the bottles like when he did to Pascal when he got 50 in Madison Square Garden. That was crazy, man. OG, why were you throwing those bottles at Pascal like that? You could have hurt him. So thank goodness the current Raptors don't throw water bottles in celebration in the locker room like OG Anunoby did that one time to Pascal. But yeah, I love that shot. It's so awesome. Shed throws it in. He's dribbling around. He's trying to come up there. Boom. And he gets the room and boom, he hits the shot. Fantastic stuff by Jamal Shed. Yeah. AJ Lawson with some cool stuff on his Instagram pictures. He's got, first of all, him with Rodin and coming in the game. And it's very awesome. There's the score with him and Scotty Dubsky. There's the big shot by AJ coming around the screen, and RJ gets the ball to him. Boom, hitting the big three. That was a huge three within the last minute of the game to get us back into it like that. Good job, AJ Lawson. Big time kahunas in that one. And then Jacoby Walter, game winner three, also badass. Really, really, really good stuff. RJ Barrett's got that highlight on blast on his Instagram and the open gym moment afterwards with Jacoby getting doused and him winning the chain and he's being called the real bad man. Wubbs has got that all over the place on his also. Love to see it, the celebrating. And he's going to remember this forever. And they said after the game, Jacoby, did you get the game ball? Did you get the game ball? And he said, no, I didn't. I didn't think about that. Well, I hope you double back and you got that game ball to add to your collection, your first ever game winner. You deserve it, man. And the NBA has the game ball. I'm sure you were able to go back and get that game ball for yourself because you deserve it. You really do. You hit that game winner last night and you deserve it. There you go. Slim Duck putting on blast Kyrie Irving. This is crazy. I didn't realize this is how this went down. Kyrie hurt himself and he's out for the season. And because they had in case he wanted to play more in the game because he could come back, he couldn't like have a substitute for his free throws. Because if he put a substitute for his free throws, he's automatically not allowed to come back in the game. So he stepped up to the line and he was crying. This is crazy. I didn't even see this footage until Chris posted it on his Instagram, Chris Boucher. And Kyrie is crying and he's thanking God as he's shooting these free throws, knowing that he's seriously hurt and he's about to be out for the rest of the season. Man, that's powerful stuff. That's crazy. That's a real passion for the game, a real baller. And it's crazy. At this point in my life, I didn't even think I'd be such a Kyrie Irving fan, but I really am. I thought he was a knucklehead a couple years ago, especially with his anti-vax stances and stuff. But man, Kyrie, I gain more and more respect for you every single year, especially right now, because you stand for things that aren't totally popular and are dangerous to stand for. And you may have some conspiracy theories that I'm like, yeah, you're crazy. But a lot of the stuff that you believe and stand for, I stand with you. Let's just put it that way, Kyrie Irving. That's right. Yeah. Let's see what else. We got Alliance, a guy from the Montreal Alliance getting 306 all-time points. So good stuff. Chris putting on blast Montreal Alliance of the CBL. That's really good. There's the game winner by Jacoby. So and there's AJ after the game. So Chris is celebrating the win with everybody too. And he looks cool with his bag coming out of the hotel. Jonathan Mobo with more of the highlights from last night and him saying Kobe at the end of the game. And they're saying, yeah, we can't let this one slide. Matt Devlin with them TikTok dancing. Kayla and Jack and their TikTok dancing, of course, always going on there. Let's see what else we got. Raptors 905 put on blast. AJ Lawson for the big time shot at the end of the game last night. Love that. SGA is saying happy birthday to his cousin. I'm not sure who that is. He's in an art gallery. He's also got his other cousin, Nikel, on blast for wearing his shoes. So it's cool. Nikel's supporting SGA by wearing his shoes right now. That's very, very cool. Did you notice that RJ was wearing the egg shoes, guys, last night? RJ got a pair of those shoes that came in the egg recently. They're like 30th anniversary Raptors shoes. They're purple and black with a little bit of red. And RJ was sporting those shoes last night. It's pretty cool to see those on his feet. But yeah, there's those hot butter popcorn shoes that SGA has put out recently that people are wearing around there. Butter. That's right. It's butter shoes. They're butter colored. Teresa Resch is a 2025 award recipient of women in of influence, top 25 in Canada. Proud of Teresa for getting that recognition. Very, very cool. I'm following Jack Armstrong on Instagram now, and he says a game night. Raps versus Magic. There you go, Jack. Glad to see you on the Instagram. I found you finally. I didn't know why I was not following Hello Jack, but now I am. And you're going to be getting talked about on the Instagram sometimes, Jack. And I love the whole thing with Jack in the broadcast last night talking about Ben Taylor, Fred VanVleet. He's like, this is an inside joke. And Matt Devlin goes, Jack, this is not an inside joke. I think everybody knows about Fred and Ben Taylor. So funny. That's so funny. Jack Armstrong. He's like, you know about Ben Taylor and Fred VanVleet. It's like, man, that's just history, bro. It's awesome. You should have brought up the John Conley and Fred VanVleet. That would have been even more funny. You a bitch. Toronto Tempo's got Serena Williams wearing their colors on the tennis court, and the fit will never get over this fit. No, we won't. Holy cow. Serena Williams is a beautiful woman, and her rocking the Toronto Tempo gear is a badass thing. I'm telling you right now. Wow. Such a huge thing. We're still reeling from the announcement. It's a fantastic, amazing, positive thing. Serena Williams involved with the Toronto Tempo. I love it so much. Yeah, let's see. What else do we got? Is there anything else in the Instagram? There's a lot here because they really posted a lot last night. Kelly Olynyk at practice in New Orleans. Charles Oakley, something about Oakley symbolizes the old school NBA, the physicality. That's him. Scotty Barnes. Okay, this is interesting. The Raptors practiced yesterday at a place in Orlando with an LED court, and it's pretty cool. Like, Scotty posted this picture early yesterday, and I was like, where the hell are they? Are they at RJ's house in Orlando? Because he has a court with the Raptors logo on it, because it says Scotiabank Arena. And I'm like, who has this court down in Orlando? Because they're in Orlando. And then I was like, well, could it be Pascal's house? Does Pascal have a Raptors court at his house in Orlando? No. It was actually a special gym with an LED court, and they had it, and they were changing it around. They showed it online yesterday, and they switched from the Raptors regular court with the Raptors red symbol in the middle, and it says Scotiabank Arena, to the specialty Vince Carter City Edition court. And they could switch it, and they switched it to Orlando Magic court all of a sudden. They just by a press of a button. So it's like, wow, why are they at a Raptors court in Orlando? It's because they were at an LED court, and they were trying it out. And Grady and a couple of people were interviewed about it. Have you ever played on a court like this? And Jamal's saying, I've never played on a court like this. It's very interesting and weird to play on an LED court. So the Raptors were practicing on an LED court yesterday that looked like Scotiabank Arena's court. They put it as Raptors while they were there practicing. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see Scotty with some of his intro pictures of him with his fits. And then, boom, there's a picture of him out the window from Florida with love. Very, very nice and sunny with the palm trees and the blue skies. Yeah. You guys are coming back today, I know. And in some ways, the difference will be like, ugh. But you know what? You have a charmed NBA life. I know you love your lifestyle, Scott. You said that recently. And, well, it's just part of it. You're a king of Toronto, bro. And in some ways, you got to come up and be in your kingdom. It's here. And in some ways, bro, you are bona fide. I know you're a real one for the Raptors. I know you are deep down inside. You can't fake having that kind of passion and loyalty like he does. Pascal Siakam coming in the game. We know he was passionate and loyal for our team also. We love you, Siakam. Always will. There's your Instagram stories. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Man, they were playing on that LED court. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Stargate's here. Good to see Stargate in the chat. I was kind of upset about what I saw Darko doing with taking out all the best players like that. It was a bad look on him in the front office to make it that obvious, but AJ and Jacoby wasn't having it. I understand why you're saying that, but once again, I'm not going to fight Masai and Bobby because they know what they're doing better than I do. And that's the thing we always have to realize is trust in those guys. That is not Darko's decision. You can't get mad at Darko for that because his hands are tied. He's only going to do what he's told. It's not Darko that wants to do that. You think Darko's like, I want to not put my best players out at the end of the game? No, it's very unnatural for him. And it's not, you can't blame Rajakovic for this. It's totally Bobby standing behind the bench and them telling this is what we want to do, Darko. Now, that's part of why when Trevor's saying he saw Bobby smiling, well, in some ways, Bobby's probably smiling because he's like, well, this isn't what the plan is. But you know what? I like this anyway. It's a weird thing. So I'm going to say this. Don't ever blame Darko for any of the substitutions that go on for the rest of the season, including Chris getting DMPs, because it's not him making these decisions. And if it's him, he's playing all out to win. You know he is. So don't get mad at him. You can get mad at Masai and Bobby because that's who's manipulating it, and they're directing him to do that. But once again, I'm not going to get mad at them because in some ways, like I said, they live on the moon. I don't. They understand GMing the NBA way better than I do. And if Bobby and Masai want to slouch or slump to try and lose games like that, I'm not going to be mad at that. But at the same token, even though they set up that to happen, the players weren't having it and they played all out. In some ways, you got to be impressed by that. So it's a weird thing. Like I said, let's not game this for losing in any kind of way. Whatever happens is a win. Even if like we had lost last night and they had collapsed and we lost, and you would have been pissed because, oh, we should have won this game because they sat Scotty and IQ and RJ at the end of the game. You would be like, you know what? That's what they wanted though, because the ping pong balls. So it's either way, we can't lose. I'm saying, Raptors fans, you should be ecstatic and happy no matter what's happening right now. We lose, we win. We win, we win. And last night we won, and it was awesome. But the competitor in Stargate's like, fuck this. I don't want this. And I'm pissed because they're not playing our starters at the end of the game. I get that. I'm totally with you. But also, I have to trust Bobby and Masai and their method to their madness. Even if the plan didn't go exactly how they according wanted, they didn't get what they want, obviously, in some ways. But then again, they did get what they want. They got a showing of their rookie taking over and winning the game with a buzzer beater at the end of the game. That's something you want. That's something you want, even if you won and you didn't really want to. So it's crazy, man. Infamous saying, enjoyed the win. One of the best games of the season. I completely agree, Infamous. Completely. With that being said, the Raptors need to be fined for what they tried to pull. Trust me, Adam Silver's going to be making a phone call. You think so? I don't know if that's true. See, the rule isn't that. This is the thing. The reason why Dallas got in trouble a couple years ago is because they sat Luka completely from a game where he was healthy. And they did that on purpose to pull punches. This is different, though. This is different. The Raptors can make the case that they wanted to develop these young guys, and you can't really adjudicate things on this. Because if you're being that nitpicky, they need to be finding a lot more teams all over the league. So I don't think this is going to happen, Infamous. In some ways, they did what they're supposed to do by the rules. And the rule is the All-Stars cannot take multiple games off in a row. That's really the only rule about this, is that like All-Star guys, and you know what? There's no All-Stars on our team, so it doesn't apply to us. So they don't even care. It's really when you sit guys on purpose for entire games to try and tank that you get in trouble with this. Not in substitutions at the end of the game. They could say all kinds of reasons why they did this. Jakob got hit in the face. He's on a minutes restriction because he's hurt. Scotty, we just didn't feel like playing him. They can make all kinds of reasoning that is absolutely fair and just. Now, they can't even investigate this, honestly, because we won. So it's not like they can get mad at us and say, oh, y'all tanked on purpose and lost, because we didn't. We won. So there's going to be no fine. There's going to be no investigation. And they didn't break any rules last night. That's what you have to understand. If the coach decides to play whoever he wants to play, think about this. The coach could be pissed at his starters and say, y'all have been shit in the bed. I'm sick of y'all. I'm going to bench y'all for the last 2 minutes as a punishment. That's his right to do that. And the NBA won't fine people for doing that. So there's nothing going to happen with this. There's not going to be any phone call. If they had lost even, they wouldn't even call them. Seriously, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Ninja saying trading that first round pick for Jakob was a+ move for the development of our entire team. You can see the confidence they have when Yak is on the floor. You can tell playing with a competent center is helping for sure. For sure. I would say this every time. People overvalue draft. People overvalue draft picks. People overvalue prospects all the time. And I would take players that are already developed and doing what they're doing in this league, like Brandon Ingram and Jakob Poeltl, over the prospect of somebody like Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey or a Cooper Flagg, because those guys are not for sure in any kind of way. Jakob is proven night in and night out, steady what he does. And that's exactly right there. Raptors Freak, Nins holding it down for us in the city of brotherly love. That's right. Reggie's saying these games against Washington, Utah will be a race to the bottom situation. Both teams want to lose, literally. Wow. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to slump. I don't want to not try all out. The Raptors have been playing a very consistent, energetic way all season, and that's the way they need to continue to practice and play. Now, if other teams are going to roll over and lose, well, that's their thing. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to get into this. If I have to fight Tank Nation for the rest of the season as the Raptors continue to win, I will. In some ways, it's like, some people, Omari came into our chat last night. He said, this is nice to be in a Raptors chat where the people are happy that the Raptors actually won right now, because all over the place, there's Raptors fan nation that are just complaining and whining because we won. Well, screw that, man. There's no tomorrow promised. Seriously, like somebody said, the whole world could go to shit, and there may not be any NBA games next season. So I'm going to get wins and watch the Raptors win while I still can, because there's no tomorrow guaranteed. Seriously isn't, if you really think about everything that's going on in this world right now. So I would say, Raptors fans, let's just shut up, watch the team, get entertained by them. Let's do the action of what we're supposed to do. Enjoy watching our team, root on them to win, and let's just see how it all goes. Seriously, if this is going to be the last NBA season for a while, I want to try and make a playoff run, because we can. We can. If we get on a good run of winning a lot and playing at a high level, and Brandon does show up near the end, and he's able to integrate himself, and all of a sudden we're a way badass team, better than a play-in team, because we're actually a better team than that, and we get past the play-in and we get in the first round and we win the first round, the sky's the limit, guys. That would be the craziest shit. Think about that. The Raptors in their whole entire season, everybody's thought a certain way about them. We rise up and we're our best versions right at the end of the season, and we make some noise in the postseason. I think that's more badass than slumming for ping pong balls. Seriously. And some people say, well, that's too middle. And that's like Josh Lundberg, that pick a lane. Bullshit. You're an NBA team. You just do what you do in your path of destiny. And why the fuck do you want to manufacture losing on purpose? That's never a good action. That's never a good action. That's what I'm saying. Washington and Utah are horrible, and they need to lose to us every single time we play them. I'm sorry. Yeah, G saying, please impersonate Ben Taylor again. Okay, I'm going to try and do that again. The Raptors have gone and all right, let me think about the one he fucked up, because he totally fucked up the call on one of them. He said the wrong player. It was an out of bounds challenge call with RJ and Franz, and it looked like it may have gone off RJ's leg, but it was totally off Franz, and that's what they declared at the end of it. It was a challenge successful for the Raptors. It's the first challenge they called, and this is how he called it. Upon review on the call, it is evident that the ball was in control by RJ Barrett and it went out of bounds. So it will be Toronto ball and no timeout. Challenge successful. Wait, you just said the ball went off RJ, but it went off Franz, you idiot. He called it the wrong way when he did it, but that's what he said it. He said it like that. Yeah, was that a good Tennessee accent? And that dude hates Fred VanVleet. He really does. Stargate saying, look how happy the team was. That kind of camaraderie is worth more than 20 first-round picks. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let's not lose the picture of what's going on here. Seriously, that's why I say, listen, if you're not feeling the feelings with the team, then you're not with the team. It says it's as simple as that. If you're going to feel the dejection of losing against Chicago on Friday night, the way that they did, completely crumbling, that's where I was with them. Some people were jubilant. Oh, we lost. Woo, to the Bulls in overtime and collapsed. And it's like, no, I wasn't feeling that. I was in some ways telling myself, I was like, okay, it's good that they lost, because in some ways there's good things about it. And I was trying to make it better that way. But I'm just saying, look at what the players are doing. And if they're jubilant and they're happy and you're pissed off, you're not in the right place, is what I'm going to say right there. You're not in the right place. Fiercely saying Ben Taylor trying to derail it till the end with that 0.5 seconds nonsense. Such a clown. And yes, Orlando plays dirty, but it is what it is. RJ loved the challenge. Bring it on. That's right. That's right. Eye of the Tiger, rising up to the challenge of your rivals. Yeah. Yeah. Bring it to him. You bring it right back to you, and he'll beat your ass, is what he was saying. Yeah. That stuff right at the end was so stupid. That's not our fault that the shot clock didn't get started right. In some ways, you could say that's convoluted bullshit by the Orlando ops people that run the clock for their franchise. It's so dumb. Ben Taylor, that's not going to change anything. Have you seen the Magic and how hard it is for them to score? You think they can score in 0.5 seconds? For 5 minutes of the game, they couldn't score in 5 minutes. So how the hell are they going to have a chance? And why are you wasting all of our time? And why are you going over there and watching more cartoons for 5 minutes and dragging out this damn victory that the Raptors got? It's so stupid. Okay, put them at half court, 0.5 seconds. They ain't going to win either. It's useless and pointless, a waste of time. In some ways, it's kind of like that bullshit of taking away a Raptors feeling of good victory and making us all feel worried because of some bullshit call with the shot clock and 0.5 seconds that absolutely won't have anything to do. Yeah, let's give them some sort of weird chance to flip the ball from center court off a jump ball into the basket at 0.5 seconds. Orlando, have you seen their offense? They suck, and they can't score worth shit with a lot of time on the shot clock even. Well, how the fuck are they going to score with .5 seconds there, Ben Taylor? Just call the game and go home. Loser ass with that clown nonsense. Exactly right, Fiercey. I'm giving you a dunk for that. And I appreciate you bringing up that last second shit because that really was like weird ass, just extracurricular ref manipulation at the end that was totally unnecessary. 10 dunks for Fiercey this year. She's at 30. That's right. Yeah. G saying, and Yak got a tech. Yeah, it was just for shoving him off. I mean, dude was physical, pushed our rookie on the ground, made him hit the floor hard. The way our guys have been getting hurt, in some ways, it's not fun. It's like we don't like seeing Grady and Oshai sitting in plain clothes over on the bench. No, they should be playing. And there's been a lot of physical play that's put people in rough places. We can't afford to have more people get hurt. So, dirty ass Wendell Carter Jr. hitting people in the air, Franz Wagner doing that shit too. Yeah, Jakob had to regulate. And in some ways, people have asked, do we have an enforcer on this team? Do we have somebody who's out there saying, yeah, that's not going to fly with this shit? You can't do this to our players. I'm going to stand up for them. I'm glad to see Jakob and RJ doing this and being like that. And I know Scott does it too. We've seen Scott get in people's faces like DeAndre Ayton. So, yeah, we know that these guys are not soft. These guys are dogs, and they ain't going to just roll over and let people just push them around. People are going to come at them with physicality. They're going to match it, and they're going to stand in their face and say, no, you hit me again. I'm going to get in your face still. And I love that about Pirtle and Barrett last night. Yeah. Stargate saying, Lex, Yak didn't get mad at that play against him. It was the dirty play. Yeah, he did on Jacoby. I know. That was the final straw. He was very, very controlled when he got hit in the face by Wendell. He talked very, very heavily to the refs and pleading his case. JD Orr is a nice guy, and I see him kind of trying to like, yeah, I know. Next time, I'll get you something next time. It's kind of the action that they had. It was insulting that they go over there and watch the whole thing. They see the brutalization of Jakob with that forearm shiver to Wendell, and they're like, no, it's a regular foul. In some ways, that's kind of depleting or degrading to our team. Oh no, it's like he felt it. He knew how bad it was. And they're like, okay, he's not going to give that. But Jakob's been in this league for 9 years. He knows this kind of bullshit from refs, and he's an old pro. And then in some ways, yeah, he's selfless. He's not going to do it for himself. He saw somebody come in as rookie, and then he got involved. That's exactly right. That's right. That was a dirty play on a rook and should have been a flagrant. That one should have been the one that Franz, when he took the back of RJ's head and pulled him back when he was trying to make a layup, that was a flagrant. And that forearm shiver that Wendell Carter Jr. put full effect into the face of Jakob Poeltl was a flagrant. And so was the play with Jonathan Mobo. There was at least 5 flagrant fouls last night, and only one of them got called. At least 5, probably more. Seriously. Fiercely saying, by the way, Wendell Carter fouls out a lot. I see why. Yeah, because he's not a real NBA player. He's a foul machine. Is basically what it is. Fiercely saying Toronto Raptors equals real bad man. Yeah, RJ specifically, number 9. That's their nickname for him. And in some ways, it totally fits. And that's him, man. RJ's awesome. He was really enjoying being in Orlando, playing in front of people from his old high school, Mount Verde. And his family came down. That's what he was saying after the game. And really reveling and enjoying the victory and how it went. Yeah. Monique is saying Wendell Carter is a piece of shit. He should have been tossed. Exactly. I think Franz should have been tossed for the stuff with RJ. That was maybe the worst one. And so I think the Wendell Carter one on Jakob was really bad. And then the stuff that Franz did to RJ was absolutely dirty as fuck. And honestly, that time when they took Franz out and put him on the bench, that he should have been thrown out at that moment. But once again, Ben Taylor and them are allowing for a certain level of physicality. They're not going to call fouls on certain stuff. Then when they do call fouls, it's because it's a flagrant. And, well, you really got to be doing something bad to get an actual flagrant. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Stargate saying, AJ said, oh, hell nah, you ain't going to make my Canadian team look bad. Hold these 2 3-pointers in this high of the glass. Laugh my ass off. Well, Fuckface was doing his stupid State of the Union address. USA's losing. Of course, the Raptors, the Canadian team's going to find a way to beat Orlando on a night during a stupid-ass address from a wannabe dictator. Catch some L's, USA, because of your politicians that are in charge right now, and the Raptors are going to play their rookies and still beat your ass against your starters in Orlando. There you go. That's right. G saying, or Carlos saying, morning, Lex and fellow freaks. Great win last night. Totally agree with you, Kaloy. I enjoyed that game immensely. That was one of the most enjoyable Raptors games in recent times, honestly. G saying Magic do a lot of ISO and predictable plays. Yeah, they suck. They honestly suck. I had more respect for Mosley until last night. And the way that they played was like old school bad boys goon shit. And then also, like, I feel like they've regressed. They should be way better than this in their progress of developing this young core. The fact that they are better 2 years ago than they are right now is a bad sign. Let's just put it that way. They're moving in the wrong direction. Let's just put it that way. I used to think that the Magic were going to be like the Pistons are right now, but not anymore. They have huge glaring problems with their team, obviously. And I'm not going to put them in a category of being a playoff team next year. I think that they're going to be on the outside looking in next year. And they're just lucky they're in the play-in right now. In fact, we could come take that spot from them if we really want to right now. Seriously. Yeah, I think Detroit and us are more in this category now. After what I've seen from the Magic the last 2 games, that team has they're not guaranteed to just get better and better, honestly, because they've regressed. They were better 2 years ago than they are right now. They really have. Fiercely saying the fact Bobby may have instructed Darko not to play the starters is also a testament. He knows how strong and good they are, and how had they played, they would have naturally taken care of business. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, they would have closed the game out with much more experience and capability than the rookies in the two ways. But the rookies in the two ways got it done anyway. So yeah, no, that's very much. Yeah, you guys are exactly right. They said, yeah, it's obvious we are trying to lose on purpose, but we didn't. Stargate saying then Jacoby got cowboy on him. Cowboy on him. What do you mean cowboy on him? I don't know. Jacoby. Let's see. Carlos saying our boys were forceful last night. Elbows up, punks. I told you guys the Raptors are greedy. We want it all. We want development and we want that high pick. Yeah. And I don't see why we can't do this. Atlanta did it last year. Why can't we be like Atlanta? Make the play-in and still get the number 1 pick possibly. That's what Atlanta did. You know, I like I said, I don't necessarily want a top 5 pick. I want to be somewhere between 6 and 10, and we can make the play-in and still be between 6 and 10. Seriously, that's what I'm saying. Nako's saying I'm still pretty high on Fierce and Queen, and they're post to go at the end of the lottery right now. There you go. You get Fierce or Queen. There you go. We'll have to see. Cool Cat's here. For all those trade RJ fans, he does not quit and is a serious professional baller. Congrats, RJ. Yeah, I love RJ Barrett. He had 10 deflections, as Carlos saying here. Yeah, he had a great game. And that's part of the reason why I got the chain. He was a leader with tenacity and physicality matched against a very physical Orlando team. And then also, like you guys said, he got these deflections. And that shows that he's playing very good defense. Anybody saying that RJ's not a good defender, well, 10 deflections is going to tell you otherwise, is what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. Smooth saying, I'm surprised Orlando didn't get a shooter at the trade deadline. That team can't score. They have to thug it up. Yeah. I mean, that's what it seems like, Reggie, doesn't it? That's their only way to even have a chance. It's so crazy that they're not good at scoring. And they really do remind me of a Raptors team a couple years ago that had the same issue. And that's why I'm saying they're regressing. In some ways, they're kind of like what the Raptors did. We had some promise, and we're looking like we're on our way up. And then there's all kinds of weirdness around the team when we still had Pascal and Fred and OG. And things weren't exactly right, even though we had a lot of talent on the team. There's a little bit of that kind of vibe to Orlando right now, the end of Nick Nurse's tenure with us. G's saying team's tanking and Cooper might stay in college another year. He's already mentioned it. I know. Nothing is guaranteed. This is why in life, what do they say? Control what you can control yourself. In this situation, the Raptors got to try and control trying to win games. And they can't control the ping pong balls. They can't control if Cooper Flag decides to stay for another year. There's so many other things you can't control. And you can't make plans in your life thinking that somebody else is going to make a plan with you and you're going to line up somewhere down the road. You're going to be disappointed. And that's part of what's happening here. Tank Nation, capture the flag. People are going to be disappointed no matter what, because they have a very specific idea of what they want to happen. And maybe the odds and the chances of that happening are not as good as they think they are. And they're going to be disappointed regardless. That's why you say you go with the flow of life. You go with what's happening and you make the best of it. Instead of trying to make your own vision of it, make it just have to happen that way. And that's the thing. If Cooper doesn't even come out this year, which NIL could make it that way, some people say, no, he's just kidding around. No, he could very well stay another year because it could be very good for him financially. It's staying in Duke. So, I mean, this is the crazy thing. None of this is guaranteed. And people thinking that this is this. What? You know, Smith saying Cooper stays in college. If that happens, that's what I'm saying. He can. He has eligibility. He has many more years he can play still in Duke. It's like, one and done is an old thing of the past. In some ways, the NBA doesn't want one and done anymore. That's part of the reason why NAL is going to be so good, is that players are going to stay in college for 2 or 3 years, maybe even 4 years more often. And that way they'll get more schooling and they'll be more NBA prepared. And that's win for everybody. Plus, they get the financial compensation in college that always made them want to jump out. So that's the thing that some of these capture the flag people aren't understanding. There's money in college now, and Cooper doesn't have to come to the NBA just to get a payday. He can get it in Duke. And that may be very well what he decides. Seriously, it may be better for him in some ways. Cool Cat saying, congrats to our hometown AJ Lawson on his performance. Dream come true, inspiring many. That's cloud nine. Obviously, both for Lawson and Walter last night. And in some ways, RJ too on the down low. Because in some ways, look, the Raptors have had their ups and downs in the last year since IQ and RJ came to our team. A lot of injuries, a lot of futile games, a lot of tough ones. But this kind of game, when you win like this, it feels real good. And RJ really is a huge leader on what happened last night. Huge, huge leader. That's going to be inspiring for him. Fiercely saying, I believe the Magic dropped 4 in a row and are being sore losers. They resorted to bullying cheap shots. Our team is about development and patience. Imagine we play recklessly in after each losing streak. Well, I'm not going to say we're better than them because we have had a style in the past where we were like them. Let's not get it twisted. The last couple of years of Raptors with Nick Nurse, we were terrorists as far as fouling people and extra physicality. So I can't judge them for this. I cannot. In some ways, this is a very real strategy by NBA teams to try and win, is to get under other teams' skins by being physical. It's always been that way. That's the way of the Bad Boys and the Pistons. And in some ways, like Jack and Matt were saying, this game looks like an 80s game. That's true. That's what an 80s game looked like back in the day last night. If y'all ever wonder what the NBA looked like in the 80s, that Raptors Magic game was what it looked like right there. That kind of physicality and that kind of stuff going on. So, I mean, they were very physical in the first game too. They were a bit more physical in this one, yes. But that's the playing style they've been playing all year. And they may have been just ratcheted up a little bit more in some ways last night. But they've been playing that physical kind of dirty stuff for a while. Not just because they were losing. They've been doing it the whole year. So let's see. Smooth saying, I can't blame them. Who wants to play in Utah or Washington or Charlotte? See, that's the thing that may decide it. Seriously. What is it looking like where Cooper will end up? And will it be really weird, like if they do the draft lottery and he's still declared and then he sees who wins the draft lottery and he says, I'm going back to Duke? Seriously, that could happen. I don't know if that's the rules. Can he opt out of being in the draft after the draft lottery? They do, and they figured out, and Utah's got the pick or Washington, and he's like, fuck, I don't want to play for the Wizards. I'm going to go back to Duke, and I'll come back next year, and we'll see if it's a better position. This could totally be true. Players have done this in the past. They go back to school because they don't like the team that's got the top pick, and they come back next year. So I think that Reggie's onto something. This is another way where capture the flag may not happen this draft season because of this issue right here. Not going to say anything's possible, but I don't think Cooper's staying in college despite what you might said. Well, that's what a lot of people are hoping and praying. I hope he stays just because I hate this bullshit. And in some ways, you know what, Lex, in some ways you should say, nah, he should come out because you don't want to hear all this shit for another year, right? Just go ahead and come out, Cooper, so we don't have to capture the flag next year too. I mean, there's pluses to both. And as my philosophy is with the Raptors right now, I'm just going to take the good side of whatever it is. If Cooper comes out and he gets in, well, I don't have to listen to rumors about Cooper flag all next year and Coop capture the flag bullshit next year. But if he stays in, I'll be laughing too because that's hilarious considering everything. That's so hilarious. G saying Ingram's reaction to Walter's winner was awesome. That's what I'm saying. This guy's in. He's in like Flynn. And well, not like Flynn. Flynn's in Charlotte, but he's just in. He's in with us, and he's bona fide, and he's fitting so well. I can tell the vibes are really good. You can see Brandon talking to Chris a lot on the bench. He's talking to Ulrich a lot. And of course, him and Ulrich have the same organization that represents them, Clutch. So in some ways, Brandon's looking out for Shamshay, especially in some ways. And he's talking to different players and getting to know them. And also, if you noticed, Brandon Ingram's style of wear, what he's been wearing as clothing coming in, has changed a bit from when he was on the Pelicans. In some ways, a little bit more dressed up and a little bit more, a little less casual, if you know what I mean. Like Brandon's kind of changing his image while he's on the Raptors already before he's even played. I mean, I don't know what kind of stuff he was wearing down on Pelicans and stuff like that, but it seems like he's changed his wardrobe since he's become a Raptor. Does that seem like that? Do people notice that? Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying I'd add Portland to the list too. Smooth. Yeah, I don't know that we don't know. Different players will have different proclivities of what they want. Some players will really not want to play in Toronto, but some players will be like, yeah, it's awesome. Some players may not want to play in Portland, but they may want to play in Portland because of a special connection in their life. You never know. You never know. But maybe Portland's on that list. I don't know. Portland's been playing better though recently. Kaz is saying, yeah, I saw Ingram celebrating too. It was awesome. He's a real one. He's with us. That you can't fake that. That passion and the enthusiasm and the fun, the camaraderie, the team play, the teammates, and the feeling of a team. And Brandon's in the fold. He's definitely in the fold. All the signs are showing that. You know, some guys could come and show up here and be a little bit like Kawhi and detached, a little mysterious, kind of like maybe not always at the games. And you're like, oh, where's Kawhi? Oh, he's back in Toronto still. He didn't come on this road trip because he's working with Dr. Alex. Oh, okay. But Brandon, he's been every step of the way at everything Raptors oriented since. He's totally bought in. He's at MLSE Launchpad. He's at all kinds of different everything the Raptors are doing as a team. He's there too, and that shows a buy-in, and that shows that he's really ensconced with them already. Because seriously, a $40 million player like him could have an attitude and be a diva and separate himself and be like, I'm not going to be here for this or this or this. He's not doing that. And this is all a very good sign. Seriously, you got to read the tea leaves and look through everything from the outside, observing. And Brandon Ingram's in there in the fold, and he's in there in the right way. And that's the thing I love about it. That's why I have a lot of confidence that he's going to be very successful for us. Smooth saying Kyrie Irving out for the season. Yeah, I hate to hear that. Carlos saying AJ Lawson and Roden look like they're the same dude. Well, sometimes they can be like that. I mean, Roden has gotten bigger. And Darko did talk about how Roden has absolutely said, absolutely buffed up, like gotten bigger. You know, everybody asked Darko about Jared Roden and him being on the Raptors. And he always reminds them he was in training camp with us. And he did all the training camp with us. And then he got sent off to the Hornets because he got signed to a two-way with them. And he was with the Hornets for the beginning of the season, playing in the NBA as a two-way. But then they had some people come back from injury and they waived him. And that's when he came back to 905. And since he's been on 905, and they both said this, AJ Lawson and Jared Roden, the fact that they've learned the system on 905 and been practicing it with Andrew Jones made it a lot easier for them to play in the game last night and fit right in right away. And Darko's very proud of the growth that Jared Roden has shown this year, specifically on defense and with his body growth. Like, it's true. Jared Roden has a bigger upper body than ever right now. He has a lot of strength. And we saw in the game 2 plays where Jack went crazy. He's like, New York player, New York. Yeah, because he went to the basket, took the physicality chest out, as Jack put it, and converted 2 baskets, very good baskets, with contact at the rim and the defender all over him. And that's kind of what he's been doing down in the 905 for sure. He peppers a lot of threes in there to tax the rim. And he's a good all-around player because he gets rebounds and assists, and he can steal too. So, yeah, Jared Roden's been awesome. Really, really awesome. Really, really, really awesome. All right, let's see. Where are we at in the chat? I lost my place. I'm going to get to the right spot. I appreciate so many comments. I don't mind doing 3 hours today. This is a good one to be kind of going long on to really get the right kind of reaction from the game last night. Let's see. Trevor J saying that LeBron became the first player to reach 50,000 career points last night. That's a huge accomplishment. That's a huge accomplishment. And a lot of people may have thought that could never be possible. I mean, there was a time when I was younger, before LeBron showed up, even in the beginning of LeBron's career, that everybody thought Kareem's scoring record would never, ever be touched because nobody was really that close. And Karl Malone got the closest. And, of course, he didn't make it. But, yeah, LeBron going above and beyond and now getting to 50,000, this is a huge thing. I can't hate on this at all. This is amazing. And this is like stratosphere in a whole new other place. 50,000 career points. It's a huge thing. You know, I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I have to give credit where credit is due. This is phenomenal. This is an amazing accomplishment. Fiercely saying, sad for Kyrie. I watched his Instagram live announcing he was out. He was peaceful and serene, wishing him well. Abiding to Ramadan and still actively training and playing. I give him props. Yeah, that's got to be tough. That's right. It is Ramadan right now. And, you know, the fact that you have to fast during Ramadan is not easy for athletes that choose to do this. It's a very, very weird period of time. And in some ways, I commend Kyrie for sticking to his beliefs and doing what he feels like he needs to do with his faith. And yeah, it is sad. And if you had put on a bingo card that Lex would be a Kyrie Irving fan at this point in this year, like 5 years ago, I would have said you're crazy, but I am. I'm a big Kyrie Irving fan right now, even if he killed us when he was on the Nets and so many games and kicked our ass. Wayne saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to Sergeant Wayne Strainer, the Sergeant at Arms of the Raptor Freak family. That's right. Smooth saying, I remember when Boston tanked their season for a chance at drafting Tim Duncan. They finished with 15 wins, had a Duncan jersey made for the draft. They ended up with the fourth pick and drafted Ron Mercer out of Kentucky. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys, we can't just control our destinies, especially with ping pong balls. And in this situation, that's why you just got to play what you can control. And if you can control winning the game, go ahead and do that. That's what I'm saying. Reggie saying the look on Rick Pitino's face, I'll never forget it. That's awesome. See, I love that. That's a great moment in Celtics history. Oh, they're going to show the Celtics history on like that. If they had Celtics delight, I'd be showing all the failures of the Celtics history, just like the Raptors fuckers did for Sportsnet. Yeah, and that bullshit. Yeah, I would love to see Celtics delight and just point out all the misery and tragedies that happened in the Celtics franchise and don't show any of the good stuff. That's what we need. We need Celtics delight and show us the failure of not getting Tim Duncan as part of it. The sad, tragic deaths of Len Bias and Reggie Lewis, and just every other failure that the Celtics have had in playoffs and whatever in different periods. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, Nako's saying Darko probably gets along with front office more than Nick did. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, it's a tough, tight line to walk. You know, Nick is very much a competitor and he wants to win all out. That's why this season is so horrible for him. He may be having the worst season of his coaching career right now, and it's not for the Raptors, guys. And he went through Tampa. He went through the bubble. Yeah, he went through some pretty bad Raptors seasons. I think this season's the biggest failure of his whole coaching career again with the Sixers. And we have Tampa with him. And a very, very poor season the last season he coached us. No, this is definitely true. And, you know, it's not that Nick wasn't on the same page with Masai and Bobby, but there definitely were conflicts about what the goal was, whether it was developing the young guys or winning. And well, what did Darko do last night? He developed the young guys and won. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you know, Darko, it is true. Darko was hired because he was going to be working more closely with Masai and Bobby than Nick did. Nick was autonomous, and Nick could do a lot more on his own without Masai watching over him. But Masai realized from the way things went south with Nick Nurse that he's got to be more hands-on approach. So he's been a little bit more involved on day-to-day things with Darko and talking about things than he did with Nick. And Darko has no problem with that. He's a people person. He's personable. Communication is top-notch for him. And talking to the front office and what their goals are is a lot easier than probably Masai talking to Nick Nurse and what their goals are there. And in some ways, you know, the competitor that Darko is not any different than Nick. I'm going to say that. They both want to win really badly. It's just that maybe Darko's smart enough to understand how to get that checkbox of development with Masai and Bobby's needs, along with fuck around and find out, and Jacoby Walter hits a game-winning three. So, yeah, this is totally true, Nako. Totally true. Darko does get along better with the Raptors front office than Nick did. Fiercely saying, enjoy the gala, Raptor Street super fan, Mo. Yeah. It's so awesome. I'm so glad she's going. She's going to be like the belle of the ball in some ways. It's going to be so awesome. And I hope that you're there with Kimberly and the other people from Giants of Africa. And you just have a blast, Mo. Take a lot of pictures, remember all the memories, and let us know what happens. You're going to have to brief us on the event, please. And you know, maybe tomorrow, because tomorrow's a Thursday think tank. There's no preview, no reaction. I might need to have you to give a very extensive report about what's going to happen. Because honestly, we're going to have tomorrow. I'm not sure if we'll do the call-in show tomorrow. Maybe. Do you guys want me to do a call-in show tomorrow? I'm going to put a poll up right now. And you guys tell me, should I do a call-in show tomorrow? Should I do a call-in show tomorrow? Because I'm on the fence about it. In some ways, I don't mind just doing a regular old Thursday think tank like we do without calls. But if you guys want to call in, I don't want to do it if nobody's going to call in, though. I don't want to be on here and say it's a call-in show and then nobody calls. So, okay, we got one vote saying yes already. We'll see. If you're voting yes, please be one of those people that will call tomorrow. That's right. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying in here. Wow. All right, I skipped some facts. I skipped some not comments, so let's make sure that we get back to things. I see the cutoff. I'm going to go a full hour, another hour till 3 hours. Yeah, I'll go to 3 hours. Let's see. Where am I? Wow, I went too far down. Where is it? Wow, I've got a lot more to go. Y'all definitely slow down on the comments for sure. Holy crap, I got a lot to go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Wayne's saying Leo Routen's and Nurse comments were instructive. No hyperbole. This is one of the best coach games I've ever witnessed. I feel like it was in some ways. I mean, that's the testament. It's like you're going to pull your best hand and put your bench out and still beat the starters of the Magic. That's a testament to Darko getting the young guys more prepared. I mean, they're rookies in two ways, and they just beat Franz and Paulo, KCP, Jonathan Isaac, and Corey Joseph. That's a very veteran team that has a lot of experience and way more talent. And we beat them with a lesser experienced, less talented team at the end of the game. And that, in some ways, is partly the coach and developing these kids and bringing them up the right way. I'm telling you, man. Stargate saying, I thought this draft was supposed to be stacked. I don't understand how these T commanders kept stressing and obsessing about we have to get a top 3 to 5 pick. Yet this is a stacked draft. Weird. No, I think that, and upon more deeper analysis, I feel like Ace and Dylan may be very much a possible busts. Seriously, I think that they're overhyped. And as I said, a part of it is look at Rutgers, and they're not going into the dance. And in some ways, that's a red flag. And in some ways, if you're going to get in the top 5, if you're not going to get all the way to the top to get Cooper, you're going to be sitting in with one of those guys probably, or somebody who's just below that anyway. And then once again, I'll bring into the factor that each of the rookies, when they come in, going all the way down from 1, gets tiered in how much they get paid on the rookie max contract. And in some ways, the Raptors, for salary cap purposes, would be smarter being in the bottom half of the top 10 with a lesser price tag on their first round pick, but a comparable talent as far as it'd be the same. Okay, we get a VJ Edgecombe at 4, or do we get Kama Malak at 9? What does it matter if they're similarly talented players and you're paying less for the 9th pick? That's what I'm saying. I wish Raptors fans would understand this. In some ways, this could really help our salary cap because we pay a player that's just as good and talented as the 5th pick at like the 9th or 8th pick. And I have no problem with that. I really have no problem with that. I think that that's actually really smart because that's when we're saying that there may be the top 3 picks in the draft. And then you go from 4 or 5 to like 12, and they're all paid pretty comparable as far as possible contribution. And we know that Basai and Bobby know which ones are the right ones to key in on and focus on the most proprietarily, secretly behind the scenes. Some of them may be not of interest to them at all. Maybe that Lithuanian point guard is not anywhere near on their radar for giving a shit about, or VJ Edgecombe. It could very well be they're looking at Fears, Queen, and Malak more than anybody else. And I hope they are, because that makes the most sense, because we do need more bigs. Really do. Yeah, Blackhawk saying pissed off Jakob is my kind of Jakob. You love to see that. He's just such a nice guy. He's so ho-hum. And just kind of you wonder about we got to remember he's over 7 foot and he's a very big, strong person. He's one of the strongest people in the league. And that's why if he has to be pissed off and he has to be an enforcer, well, get out of his way. You don't want that. Stargate saying Kyrie has really become one of my favorite players in the league. Really a heartfelt video he did on Instagram. I wish him a speedy recovery. Yeah, I'm seriously, I'm really, I can't believe this, how much I like Kyrie at this point. Carlos saying we are now seeing the identity with these young Raptors. We are gritty, hardworking, and we generate quality shots. And this is what we wanted. We want to develop these guys to be winners in this league. And they showed that they want to be winners as the second team for our team with the first team on the bench. And what's not to like about this? That's what I'm saying. If you see what happens last night and you're all upset and something's wrong with your priorities is what I'm going to say. Wayne saying Shed and that cohort are the new bench mob. They are. I think officially we can say that because of last night. I think we can. They play at a different mental level that we can't explain. Darko knows his players. Only outlier is Orlando. His positioning is awful. He will improve. I think he's gotten better. He was really bad in the beginning. It's not totally right. You're right. But he is better. I think that he's really coming out and meeting people, and he's really bought in with the energy of our defense. In some ways, he may not have been the most active guy on defense and kind of lurking around in the paint, but he's coming out and running out at free throw shooters in the corner like he did at Jonathan Isaac at the end of the game. Isaac made one of the threes, but then Orlando ran out at him the second one. He missed the second one. So this is something he's getting better at. He's definitely a work in progress. He's definitely will improve. And I think that if he continues to show what he's been doing in the direction he's doing, he will be on our team next year. G saying Orlando needs to focus more on scoring than try to take out the opponents. Ugly brand. You're talking about not Robinson. You're talking about the team. Okay, yeah. I was reading that as Orlando Robinson just now because of the last one. So Fiercely saying, I know I shouldn't do this, but so satisfying to lurk in the Magic post-game sound. Did coach really call Jacoby Schott a travel? Bro's so salty he lost to a G League team. Somebody said that. Yeah, whatever. They're going to be making up excuses and stuff. I know I do that for us sometimes. But in some ways, everything's online. Trust me, if Ben Taylor could have screwed us over on that Jacoby Schott, he would have. He would have. If he could have screwed us over on that, he would have done that. Fiercely saying, no way you're bringing up fouls when the Raptors played 2 rookies, 2 G Leaguers, and 1 free agent on a 10-day all in the fourth. Yeah. Either way, it's funny that you went and lurked on them. Whatever. They're going to have to try and make themselves feel better. So I'm going to say whatever they're going to say, MJ. Fiercely saying Toronto took out all their starters to give y'all a chance to win. How much more help do you need to close the game? Exactly. And not only that, the refs were really helping them in some ways. They really were. They let them play with a certain level of physicality that we weren't necessarily allowed to play with. Let's just put it that way. Most saying, I never listened to Will Lou, hardly do, but hearing him geeking about Jacoby, man, so happy for the kid. His IG followers went up instantly. Yeah, I mean, once again, Will Lou, you can sometimes be an Eeyore about things. Oh, well. I'm glad you're just enjoying yourself. You should. You're a Raptors fan. You deserve it. We won last night. Let's enjoy it. We deserve it. We've had a lot of ups and downs as a franchise since the championship. And, well, when we have an up, we deserve to fully embrace it and feel it. And people that don't want to feel it today or upset about it, well, you're not really with us. I'm telling you right now, you're literally not with the team is why you're like that. That's right. Let's see. Fiercely saying, wow, laugh out loud. And I see many comments that Mosley lost the locker room. How much of this is true? Don't know and don't care. Laugh out loud. I don't know if that's exactly true, but the signs of it are there. Honestly, the signs of it are there. It could very well be that their failure and the way things are going has lost confidence in him. And that's what it is. That's the problem. If the coach isn't building something that the players can see merit in and success down the road, and maybe that, like I said, they're regressing. That's where the problem could be. Jamal Mosley could look like a coach of the year in the last couple of years because he's building up the Orlando Magic, but there's 2 step forwards, 1 step back. They're on a 1 step back. And in some ways, the players are like, wow, this is not where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be improving, not degrading how we're playing. And, well, it can be a loss of confidence in the coach because they're seeing that the merits of their hard work aren't contributing to better outcomes. And then they start playing as hard for him. It's a really slippery slope. And that's why I say to Raptors fans, understand that Darko has been impervious to 2 very losing seasons, and his team has continued to run through a brick wall for him the whole entire last year and this year. Nothing has changed in this way. And that's something that is a sign of a very good motivator and a very trusted coach, that the losses could stack up for the Raptors in 2 years. But nobody is doubting that what Darko is doing with his team has really good long-term positive goals that are going to be successful. And that's the thing. That's when we talk about players buying into their coach. You know, this is a good example from the other side with Mosley. Mosley may not be getting these guys bought in with what he's doing anymore because they're having so many problems. That makes a lot of sense right there. Stargate saying, I said this the other day, and I think G just now reiterated it. The Magic is too much of an ISO-heavy team. Both Paulo and Franz are both ISO-oriented and not very good at involving other teammates. Boom goes the dynamite. And the Raptors build is not like that. You know, RJ may have been the one that everybody said, oh, he's not a playmaker. That's bullshit. Have you seen the way that RJ passes to everybody right now? He's got cool-ass passing ability. Emmanuel is not really a point guard. He's a combo guard, but he can play point guard. And the other thing is Brandon's coming in as a guy who's averaged over 5 assists a game his whole entire career. So in some ways, that bodes really well. And that's why I was kind of against Raptors report on usage with Brandon, because Bradley Beal's a black hole. He's going to swallow up all the balls that go towards him, but that's not what Ingram's going to do. In fact, Ingram is more likely to maybe be in the post, set up with an isolation post play, and he may pass it right over to RJ, and he's hitting a three. He's not a selfish player. He's smart. He's smart, and he wants to win. So he's going to be looking for other people off of his attention that he draws as such a badass offensive weapon. You know, Scotty, RJ, Brandon are all similar in this way. And that's why this may fit way better than Orlando's, because of what Stargate just reiterated right here. That the Magic need isolation guys, and they're kind of not leading to success for the other guys around them. And that's part of the reason why they don't have enough scoring punch for their whole entire team, because Banchero and Wagner just do not get other people involved like Barnes, Barrett, and Ingram will too, is what I'm saying right now. The stats say it right there. Stargate saying it smooth. And who went second in the Tim Duncan draft? Laughing my ass off. I don't even remember who went second in that draft. Fiercely saying difference between Darko's tenure versus Nick. Our bench is much more efficient, and I have full confidence when they play development. This is totally true. I mean, it's evident in what happened in the game last night. Could Malachi Flynn and the benches the pass with Nick pulled this off last night? There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. They could have had Malachi, Precious, Gary, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, and Stanley Johnson out there. And those guys couldn't have pulled this off like Jacoby and those guys did last night. Seriously, with Nick coaching them. Think about that. And those guys have more experience and more talent in some ways. The list I just named with Flynn and Achua and Trent and Rondé Hollis Jefferson and Stanley Johnson. But no, this team last night, because Shed and Walter are winners. And they're those kind of guys coming up. Jamal Shed isn't just a point guard. He is a winning type of player that is going to make plays that are winning style ways. And Jack pointed out, it's like there's something about Shed that's winning and winner. And it comes from Houston and Coach Sampson and the Cougars. It comes from that identity of that. And in some ways, it's the same DNA of Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet up before him. These guys understand there's little things you do in the game that have to do with smarts and mental stuff that if you do in the game, you're more chance to win. And Jamal's on that page. He's on that page way more than Flynn was. Oh my gosh. Cool Cat's off to a meeting. Have a great day, Raptor Freak crew. Good. Have a great day, Cool Cat. I hope you have a good meeting and it'll be awesome. You'll watch me later, I'm sure. Wayne saying, Lex, stop saying the Magic couldn't. They were trying. They got calls, but our guys were competing, and finally our hard work produced a win. Well, it's only semantics. I'm just saying the word they couldn't win. They couldn't come back and beat us because they didn't make the layup that Franz tried to make in the last game. They couldn't come back and beat us because they just didn't have the offense to do it. It's just semantics. It's just language. And I get what you're saying. It's they could have. You're right. But they couldn't because they didn't. And that's what I'm saying it that way. I mean, it's kind of semantics and just language. Nako's saying, I think Darko likes and knows how to use Chris. He never plays him because of a front office. I think this is exactly right. That in some ways, like I said, Bobby may be thinking about negotiating with Chris this summer. And it's kind of a mean thing to do. I'm not going to play you as much because in some ways your value is going to go up. Also, I understand if I play you more, we're more likely to win. It's kind of killing two birds with one stone. And honestly, if you're a Raptors fan, you can't get mad at this because in some ways that's part of their tank nation. You want to lose. We play Chris, we're more likely to win. And then second, you love Chris. You want him to be on this team. Well, not playing him may keep him around here more is what I'm saying also to Raptors fans. Because like I said, he can increase his value on the free agency market and playing very, very well at the end of the season. And we don't necessarily want to do that because we want to keep him around. How about that? That's what I say right there. Yeah. And we don't need to discover anything about him. In some ways, we know exactly how he fits. He has a long tenure with us. He's good for the culture. In some ways, the minutes we put in him aren't for development. Those aren't development minutes. They are when we put Jonathan out there, though. Those are development minutes right there. Blackhawk saying, Raptor Freaks, what's up? What's up, Blackhawk? Most saying, when Trevor asked you about the 905, wrote in and lost in the chat. Good response, Lex. They're definitely sinking. Yeah, it's too bad. I don't like this because it did look like from the start that they had that we could be G League champions, but we're dead in the water there. It's not going to happen. And part of it is that we're transitioning. We're using our development team for development in the way that, well, they get their time when they can't play on the regular squad. on 905. And well, Jacoby, Jamal, Jonathan, they did time down on 905 this year, and they had very successful stints down there. In fact, they were around when we were winning and we were 11-4 at the beginning of the G League season. But now at this point of the season, much like last year, we're calling up the 905 guys and taking their best players for the Raptors. And it's just not going to be easy for Andrew Jones to win out for the rest of the season. And I want to watch how Coach Jones handles it, Mo, because I know he's a good coach. I don't think he's like Eric Curry, and he's done a very good job this year. But I want to see if he can still pull things together to a certain level for the 905 and still grit out some wins. And heck, if he makes it to the playoffs and they actually do make it somehow, some way, that'd be fantastic. But I'm giving him a pass for the rest of the year. That if the Raptors 905 do not win very much for the rest of the year, well, we know exactly why. None of our rookies are down there anymore. And even the two ways and the players that were doing really well for them are getting snatched up and brought up to the main squad to play for them now. So it's just how it is. Mike's here. Logical Raptors Fanatic Project Truth Always. He's got a new clip out. He said, I did a video explaining the ethical stank. The game proved out my theory well. There you go. Mike putting out content during the day, and then at night, the Raptors are proving his content. Look at that. That's Project Truth to the epitome of the truth. So, y'all, please support Mike's channel. Logical Raptors Fanatic is fantastic. I'm also going to say, go support Raptors Report because I feel like he does a very good job. Now, I want you to be more positive, my guy, and maybe make more content thinking it's sunny skies are ahead, because that's what I believe is true. And I don't want you to impede things and make people doubt, oh, no, Brandon Ingram's going to be a problem for some reason. No. In some ways, Raptors Report, I respect your grind and your work you put on your channel and the things you're doing in mostly positive, very informative ways. I like that. I just, I don't want any gaslighting of the Raptors fans to make us feel like, oh, we're in trouble or anything like that. So I felt like he was pretty fair with his content. So y'all check out Mike's content, Logical Raptors Fanatic, going over ethical tanking and the whole phenomena of it. So Mike, timely stuff. I love it. Definitely give him a subscription and a follow. Seriously. Stargate saying, all I'm saying, Lex, the obviousness of it is not a good look. Whether they know what they are doing or not. Optics isn't good, whether we know what they are doing or not, or whether the player knows or not. Well, let me give you this example, Stargate. The Celtics do this all the time. Yeah. What if the Celtics, the champions, can get away with doing this kind of shit? Why can't we? Seriously. It's not that they're trying to lose. It's just that the Celtics on some games might sit Tatum, Brown, Drew, and Derek White, and they'll put in Pritchard, or maybe they'll put in Drew or Jordan Walsh, the Walsh kid, or J.D. Davison, and let them have the end of the game for development. I've seen them do this before. It's not that they're trying to lose. They may very well be in the game and it's close, but they want to get them that crucial crunch time development for their end of the bench players. So it's not that we're doing anything wrong. This top teams in this league are doing this kind of shit too. And some of it may be for load management because of back-to-backs, or there may be certain opponents that are not as good. So they really feel like they can put out bench players in crunch time and give them those kind of minutes. There's nothing wrong with this. The top teams in the league do it. The Raptors had the opportunity to do it last night, and it was very effective and useful. So it's not about optics. Once again, the players are suited up. They've shown up. They're earning their money by being in uniform and being on the court. The people that came to the arena saw R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and Scotty Barnes play. They got their money's worth. The whole problem with load management and people not showing up is people buying tickets to see players and they don't show up and play. All those guys played last night. So everybody went to the game, got what they wanted. And it's up to the coach who he wants to play at the end of the game. It may not optically look right or anything like that, but it's always the coach's choice on who's on the court. And there's nothing wrong. It's different if they sit and they don't show up and people buy tickets and they expect them to be there and they're healthy and they just don't play. It's this, you understand the difference is what I'm talking about here? Most saying W stream, W vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew, strong forever. Just helping Lex limit the comments. I appreciate that. We're at 2.5 hours. I'll go a little bit more. This is the crazy thing. I'm going to be at 1,300 streams in a row, guys. It's crazy. 3-year odyssey. It'll be 4 years in September, guys, that I've done a stream every single day. Has not broken that streak. And yeah, we're going to keep going. I'm going to keep going further and further. I'm going to get 5,000 and even further. That's right. Keep going. That's right. Stargate saying good on AJ and Jacoby. Heck, and even RJ for not having it. You could see RJ and Scotty on the bench not looking very happy. They were not out there. I'm so happy for AJ and Jacoby. Yeah, I was watching that, and I know that Emmanuel and Scotty, in some ways, this is not natural for them. They're like the competitors in them. They're like they want to be out there to help as much as they can. You know, Scotty, in some ways, he didn't like that. I know he didn't either, and that's right. That's the right way to be. Is that in some ways, if he was too comfortable with like sitting on the bench and just saying that he doesn't care enough. But no, he wanted to be out there. You're exactly right. But you know what? Listen, this is the Venn diagram. It just happened to work out. Everything worked out exactly perfect in some ways. And some people will say, no, it didn't. They won. And we didn't need to win. But to me, everything worked out exactly perfect last night. That's what I'll say about that. Yeah. They were very happy for all of them. And that's why it's a team. And there's no selfishness. Scotty isn't pouting because he didn't get to close the game out and shoot a game winner like Jacoby Walter. No, he's excited because our team has won a game and he's on that team and he won too. That's right. Let's see. Carlos saying the thing is the Raptors don't want to spend the time to build the system when the high draft pick comes. They might want to do it right now. That's what I'm saying. I mean, look, you know, fruit all ripens and matures at different ages. You know, you may have to sit with that avocado on the table for a little while before it turns black from green. You know, a banana might ripe faster, though. That's the thing. We may be maturing a little bit quicker than everybody else. We can't gauge ourselves against Pistons. We can't gauge ourselves against Thunder. We can't gauge ourselves against Grizzlies or Magic. None of these teams, because they all have their own unique paths. And everybody who's trying to compare us to other teams and say this is this and this and this, just stop. Each individual 30 teams of the league are all different and in different places and have different pluses and minuses. And well, in some ways, our pluses and the way we are going to allow for a hyper quick rebuild into being a team in contention and a team that actually is in the playoffs again next year. There's no denying the Raptors are probably going to be in the playoffs next year, a straight up playoff team and not a play-in team. The Eastern Conference is weak. There's only a certain amount of teams that are above 500, and we are rightfully one of those teams that should be up at the top. They may have tried to sewer us by making us go into a rebuild, but Masai and Bobby, they didn't just necessarily microwave it. They did it the right way. We're doing it all in the right steps. It's just in some ways on our path, we're not making a lot of missteps and screwing up, and then we have to recover and do that. No, we're making the right steps every single way, and we're getting there faster because we're not having screw ups. We're making very good decisions, good draft picks, good development, good things happening with our rookies, and they're growing in a very, very good way already in their first year. So it's like everything's coming up roses. And in some ways, the Raptors are ready to be a winning team next year and a playoff team next year. But you know what? Maybe it's even faster than that. That's why I said what I said earlier in the stream is what if we do fuck around, get in the play-in, and we're rolling so well because we planned so well at the end of the season that we roll right through the play-in into the first round of the playoffs, and all of a sudden we have a playoff series. And what if we beat the first round team? Because in some ways that team isn't necessarily this or that. I mean, it would be Cleveland or Boston, and it may be pretty tough. But who knows? We did play Boston very well this season. Like, would there be an alternate reality where the Raptors get into the playoffs and play the Boston Celtics in the first round and they beat them? That's possible. People want to say, you're crazy, Lex. It's the Celtics. They're the champions. I don't give a shit. We played them really well this year. And if Brandon Ingram's lining up with us all of a sudden and they hadn't seen him, yeah, it might be a different story altogether, considering how we pretty much played them very evenly a lot of this year. We really did. Seriously. So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Stargate saying even BI ran out there after Jacoby's game winner. Must have told him, looking like me out there, young buck. Yeah, he loves him. He said that Kobe is kind of his rook, and he's like looking out for him. He's already talked about that. Brandon Ingram, his affinity for Walter. Yeah. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan Trey. A fantastic Raptor freak. One of my favorites. That was an absolutely amazing game. Holy shit. See, Tristan's a real one. He's bona fide right here. He's got that Raptor heart. He really is. He's got the right reaction right there. Holy shit is right. It was awesome. Carlos saying, so it looks like the game plan is to play right and hard 90% of the game and then let the rooks and two ways play it out the last 10 minutes and let it fall as it may. Yeah, that's what it looks like so far. And in some ways, they're going to allow a crumble at the end. They'll say, do everything right, play as strongly as possible the whole entire game. And then in the last 5 minutes, we may make subs that short suit us and allow for us to go ahead and lose at the end after all. I mean, I can't get mad at that because in some ways you're getting all the development pluses of playing all out. You're not pulling punches and playing in a bad way that's bad habits. And in some ways you're gaming it at the end where you might possibly lose. I don't know. Once again, guys, we have to trust Bobby and Masai in their direction of what they're trying to do from the top and understand that Darko's not making these decisions. He's absolved of any criticism for this. Seriously, it's the front office telling him what he has to do. Yeah, this is a daring plan, and I like it. Well, we've seen it kind of happen the last 2 games, and it's just Orlando sucks, and they are not able to make it up and win in the end because they just weren't able to do it. Carlos saying, I love it how when they say pick a lane, when Masai and Bobby is picking all the lanes. That's right. We just have a fat vehicle. We have like one of those huge dump trucks that is just like giant size. You ever seen one of those? Yeah, we're driving not only on both lanes, we're driving on the shoulders of the road too. Maybe we got a big, huge farm machine like a combine or some sort of reaper, and we're driving it and we're taking up the whole lane out here near where I live. Yeah, when I see those vehicles, I got to be careful. I got to drive slow, and I got to give them the road because tractors and farm equipment, they need the road in the green belt of Ontario. And well, maybe we're just driving one of them machines, Josh Lewinberg, telling us to pick a lane. Well, we're in a couple lanes, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's the same car and it's going in the right direction. That's right. That's right. That's it right there. Boom goes a dynamite. Facts, Carlo. Facts. That's right. Trevor's saying Jacoby in his interview, he said we are dogs. Well, of course. Ruff, ruff, ruff. That's right. JYD would say that. That's right. Stargate saying, I wish Eugene was playing in that game last night. Let Franz and Wendell do their dirty shit with him around. That's awesome. I'm going to give Stargate a dunk on this one. Omar Roy, yeah. I was wondering if he'd show up in this game because I thought he might because he didn't play in the 905 game before. But no, he didn't. And he's not the one who's got announced. There is still one more open roster spot. We're just going to have to see what they do with it. You got your 11th dunk of the year, 33 for you, Stargate, on the dunk charts. I want to picture that in my head. Eugene would have been an added guy. Yeah, he ain't taking no bullshit. In some ways, he does have that Oakley Draymond kind of energy. And, he might have been a lot sooner than Jakob losing his shit and trying to regulate these guys with, enforcer shit. Because he's done it on 905 all year. Omar Roy is so awesome at that role. Seriously, I would have loved that. Thank you for that image in my mind. Carlos saying the Magic is looking like 2022 Raptors. ISO and not much shooting, but decent defense. Yeah, that's who they look like. Exactly, Kaloy. Stargate saying at Lex, Jacoby is from a small town in Texas, hence my cowboy reference. Okay, well, you can understand where I might think something else when you're saying that. Okay, I didn't understand where it was from. Mo's saying, for my first gala ever, I've decided to dress up. You should. You should dress to the nines. This is a huge, big deal, Monique. Seriously, this is like Raptors prom. You got to get a corsage and do the whole thing. I know, go to the dress to the nines, Mo. Seriously. And I want to see all the pictures. That's right. Do your thing, Mo. Shine out. You deserve this so much. All the love and all the things that are going to happen to you in the next 24 hours. Absolutely. You deserve it the most. And I'm going to be so happy vicariously through you that you're going to get to go do this event. This is so awesome. And I really do want every detail that you can remember. Please let us know. In fact, I'll do the Thursday Think Tank Raptors Gala, Monique's report tomorrow if you want. I'll make it all the subject for tomorrow's Thursday Think Tank. The general main subject could be Monique's trip to the Raptors Gala tonight and what she saw and what was happening there. We could center the whole Thursday Think Tank around you. If you will allow that with my permission. With your permission, I will do that. I will do that. Yeah, we'll make it a Thursday Think Tank call-in, and we can even have, you just telling us what you saw through the chat and what was going on last night, for sure. Stargate saying, look at Shed. He's a 4-year player. So is Fred. Yeah. And like I said, Fred didn't get these opportunities. Fred was buried in his rookie year as the third, maybe even the fourth point guard in some instances. He had Kyle, he had DeLon, and he had Corey Joseph in front of him in some ways, in front of him from playing. He was like the fourth point guard his rookie year, and he didn't get any of these opportunities that Jamal Shedd's getting right now. He really didn't in his first year. Nako's saying, next year you got to worry about dying for a Dabanasta. That's a player coming out? What is that? You're just making up a new thing, like capture the flag? That's what this is? I hate that term, man. Why you guys say that? There's going to be a lot of death and dying in this world soon. And we can't be frivolous with that word. It has a lot of weight. Let's just put it that way. Stargate saying next year it's going to be T for the Boozers twins. Watch it. Tank for the Boozers twins. Yeah, the Boozers twins are something else. They're very interesting. we'll have to see what's up with that. But once again, guys, I like staying present. Everybody's all about the draft already. We still have NBA games to play. I want to go through each of the NBA games. In some ways, I hate how early everybody starts talking about Cooper and all this bullshit. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. All in its right order. And the NBA season's still going on. It's not draft season yet. It isn't to me. That's for damn sure. It isn't to me. Trevor's saying Ingram is wearing his own clothing line. Somebody told me because they have some of his clothes. Cool. Well, he's some nice style. Nice style. Trevor's saying, watch how long Washington Wizards, Charlotte Hornets, and 76ers draft after draft picks and still can't get nowhere. Exactly. You got to hit on things like Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, Jonathan Mobo, Ulrich Shamshay, and an undrafted named Jamison Battle. Yeah, you got to hit on things. And the Raptors, they don't misstep. It's like 2 step forward, 1 step back. The Raptors aren't taking that 1 step back on their rebuild. They're just going 2 step forward, 2 step forward, 2 step forward. There's not a 1 step back lately. It's not happening right now. No. Let's see. Smooth saying, if Embiid really wants surgery to repair his knee, the Sixers should agree and do it. I thought he already shut him down, and he should be going to get surgery right now and starting to rehab right away. Don't waste time. I mean, if they're doing any kind of weird figuring it out kind of stuff, well, they're wasting the damn time. They probably should have shut him down a month ago already. So whatever. Sixers, they can be doing stupid stuff. They do what they do. Smooth saying, it seems like he is pushing for it. The player knows his body. No, he needs something. I don't know what he needs. In some ways, I don't care. In some ways, if Joel Embiid never plays again in the NBA ever again, I won't be upset about that. Seriously, guys, I really won't. The Stargate saying, I said it before, Ace Bailey is Alex Sarr. If Alex Sarr was playing the NCAA at Rutgers in Steve Pickles' system, but hey, I'm just a former scout for a Caribbean League team. I don't know shit. I didn't know that about Stargate. Holy shit. Stargate used to scout for a Caribbean basketball team? That's amazing. I didn't know that you had scouting employment in your life. Well, in some ways, I already took Stargate's opinions very highly, and usually we're very much on the same page on a lot of things. But I'm going to think even morely of you, considering that you actually professionally worked as a scout, Stargate. Okay, in some ways, he knows what he's talking about here, and I agree with him on this. That I think that Ace Bailey is a little slight of build, and I think people are overinflating who he is right now. I really do, and that's why I don't care about the top of the draft. I really don't. Carlos saying the difference is probably Nurse wanted 6'8" athletic guys, and Darko wants someone with high basketball IQ. I think that Darko's common thing is like Nurse wanted long arm monsters, Vision 6'9". Darko wants passers, unselfish players that absolutely fit his philosophy of the 0.5 offense and being absolutely passing every which way. In some ways, this is why Gary had to go. In some ways, this is why Pascal had to go with Darko being the coach. In some ways, that's the thing. When those guys had the hardest thing to deal with Darko's offense last year when he came our coach, is Gary and Pascal both had to try and be more that player. And, and to a degree, they were successful, but also to a degree, it's not natural for what their strengths are and playing to them in that kind of way. So in some ways, that's the whole thing. Emmanuel being not necessarily a true point guard is actually really good with Scotty on the team. RJ Barrett being an underrated passer that nobody's really unlocked, but actually is getting unlocked now is part of this thing. Brandon Ingram, showing the stats. Like I said, he's a career +5 assist guy. He's going to be fitting in it too. So I think that's exactly right. And this is a good distinction by Carlo that with Nick, it was about long arm defense, aggressive defense with guys just really getting after it, all around athletic guys, but not necessarily in a certain area. And Darko's valuing the guys that can get connected as teammates and really pass it off each other and get synergy. And that's coaching philosophy right there. Boom goes the dynamite. I'm going to give Kaloy a dunk for that one because that's a very astute distinction. And I think that Darko does have a player type that he's trying to collect on our team. And we've very successfully gotten a lot of them already. There you go. 18 points on the dunk charts for Carlo. Fiercely saying, agreed. Higher basketball IQ, sharing the ball, stay strong together, whether winning or losing, build a strong culture. Very, very smart team. AP class. I've said this year that the Raptors have an AP class of players. Other teams have dummies on their team that are not very smart people, and they may not have very high basketball IQs. They're very talented athletically, but they may not have as much going on up here as a Jamal Shed or a Grady Dick or a Jacoby Walter. And that's part of also Masai and Bobby understanding a draft type and a player profile. A guy like Scott is an epitome of some of this stuff as far as being selfless, very much caring, working hard, and being a team player. And I think that this is the profile that we're seeing with the players that Darko and Masai and Bobby have collected here is really what it is right there. Yeah. Most saying, yeah, I know no bad thoughts for Drew at all. Always let my voice be heard. Obviously, we want the best for love Drew coming to the team. Raptor Freak Crew, name one Raptor you want me to meet. I want you to meet Grady. I think it'd be awesome for you to meet Grady. I think it'd be awesome for you to meet any of them, honestly. I think that it'd be very cool for you to have a moment with RJ. I think that that would be very special. Obviously, I want you to meet Scott. I do. I want you to meet all of them, Mo. And I think you might get an opportunity to meet most of them tonight, which is going to be fantastic. And like I said, so many pictures. Who's going with you? Is it Jackie? Whoever's going with you, they need to have that camera ready at all times because I have a feeling you're going to have photo ops one after another tonight. And it's not just going to be Raptors people, too. There may be some other highfalutin people that are at it that you're going to be like, wow, here's this person, too. And you get this picture with this person. Take so many pictures and collect it all in your head and share it with us tomorrow. Please, Monique. It's going to be so awesome, man. Yeah, it's going to be so awesome. You going with your sister? Okay, yeah, she's going to have fun. And I know she's going to help you and take care of you the right way with taking pictures. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's going to enjoy that too. I know she will. I know she's going to have a blast at that too. So awesome. And yeah, you ladies go down there. I know you all will be dressed up real nice and looking fantastic. And just be the belle of the ball, Monique. This is an event built for you because you're a super fan of the Raptors, and this is the creme de la creme premier Raptors fan event that you can go to. In some ways, I'm so jealous, but I am so happy for you. I can't hate on this. I can't be upset because I'm like, man, Monique is awesome, and she deserves this. And, I would love to go to this someday. Maybe I will at some point, but who knows? But you're going for sure. That's right. They want you to meet Jakob. There you go. 62% of y'all are saying that I should do the call-in show tomorrow. So I think I will, guys. I think I will do the call-in show tomorrow. All right, let's do the classic card since I'm at the end of the chat. Yeah, we'll do this. This is one for you, Smooth. You better get this one because this is your old team. So, all right, here we go. This is the classic card of the day. It's a Rocket, number 44. Let's see if Smooth is still here. Hopefully, he didn't bow out for a second to go to the washroom or something like that. Maybe, hopefully, he's still here. This is a hard one. This is definitely a 200 card. This is not a very well-known player. In fact, I'll give clues on his name if there is an issue with people not being able to get this card. I'm pretty sure Reggie might get it right off the bat, though, since it is a Rocket, and it is in his time period of when he was a big Rockets fan. Yep, he's got it. I knew he would. Adrian Caldwell. That is good work. In fact, I'm so impressed with him. I'm going to give him 300 today. You're getting 300 for Adrian Caldwell. That is not an easy card. That is a high level, very, very good job. He shot his shot just like Jacoby. He made it. Real easy, 300 points today, Smooth, for that one. That's very impressive. He knew Adrian Caldwell like that. That's the thing, man. The Raptor Freaks know their basketball. And some of y'all may have never heard of Adrian Caldwell until then. But this man, Smooth, he knows his Rockets. That's what I'm saying right there. All right, let's do a rundown real quick in the last 10 minutes of everything I have to say about the game last night. My 5 stars of the game in the game last night, Jacoby Walter winning that game winner. Number 1 star, RJ Barrett. Jakob Poeltl, 2nd star. AJ Lawson, 3rd star. Scotty Barnes, 4th star. And Jacoby Walter is my 5th star of the game. We did the Instagram stories. Let's see. There is a new Kensington Variety VIP Club episode out. And it's kind of interesting. I'm talking about we're about to go on the West Coast road trip before the pandemic starts. And we're out on the road. And it's 5 years ago. It's kind of a crazy episode. There's some Raptors-related stuff in it. Check it out. Let's see if there's anything on Blue Skies really quick at the end about things. There's Michael Grange has a little thing about Franz Wagner and RJ Barrett on here. Let's just see what it says here. He said, Michael Grange said he asked Magic forward Franz Wagner about his battle with RJ Barrett last night. They traded blows to their respective chins on a pair of physical drives before Wagner got called for a flagrant for hitting Barrett across the head when Barrett tried to dunk on him. And this is what Franz said, guys. I definitely didn't try to hit him in the head. These things happen in the game, obviously. Hopefully this is understood. I think it's part of the game. We thrive on stuff like that. Physicality, frustration, and stuff are part of it. I think you've got to give Toronto a lot of credit. They play super physical, really impressive defensively, and that's why they won the game. Okay, so he's being a good loser, But and he's also trying to tell everybody he didn't mean to hit RJ in the head. All right, Franz, a little bit of a cover up for some of the respect that I lost for you, because honestly, I do really like you. And the work that you do for Team Germany alongside Dennis Schroeder, I'm always rooting for you guys on that team, and except you're playing Canada. But you know what? Honestly, all right. I'm glad that you said these things and clarified these things, because in some ways it looked really bad. It looked really, really bad. Blake Murphy is announcing a couple hours ago that Jamison Battle and the two ways are back on the 905 today with the Raptors off. So this could very well mean that Battle's not going to play because he has a broken nose. He's going to be out for a little while. And we haven't seen him on the bench. You notice he didn't travel on this road trip. He's been staying back in Toronto and staying back. He's probably because he has to wear something on his face. And it's probably like, I don't really want to be seen on camera right now because he did break his nose. But Roden and Lawson are going to be with the 905 tomorrow. That's what Blake Murphy's saying here. So we'll have to see how they play, what games they're going to play on, and which ones they're going to not going to play on. So, all right, let's see what else we got. That's it. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining me for a great reaction of a game that was an improbable win. It was improbable because we weren't trying to win, and we still won anyway. And it's a testament to the young players on our team, who they are. Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, AJ Lawson, Jared Roden, Orlando Robinson. Kudos to you guys. You guys won a game that was close, and it was really crazy that in some ways, some of the past Raptors teams that Nick Nurse had would have fumbled this game and not won with much more talent. So in some ways, this bodes that these youngsters, this new bench mob, and I'm officially going to call them a bench mob now because of last night, is very capable. And we're going to have a very deep team next year. That this team is going to be very, very good, and a lot of options for Coach Darko to choose who he wants to play, not just in the starting lineup with offensive contributors that are different in different nights with Emmanuel, RJ, Brandon, and Scotty and Jakob, but also with great players like Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji, Jamal Shed off the bench. Our team is going to be very deep next year. And the rookie development for our team this year has been so valuable. And we're going to see it even more next year, and how it adds up to a very cohesive unit that understands what it takes to win, and they're willing to do everything to make it happen. Jacoby Walter, you have my utmost respect. You have arrived, young man. And last night, you let something out, and I expect more of your greatness in the years to come in a Raptors jersey. That's right. Yeah, there you go. He had a very short stint in the team, Adrian Caldwell. Very, very short stint. There you go. Big man. Big man. All right. Thanks again. Reggie, you are awesome. Fantastic on the classic card. I'll be back tomorrow with the Thursday Think Tank. And, well, maybe it'll be all about the gala that Monique is going to tonight. We'll see. I'm going to put something together. Mo, if you have a picture that you share tonight that you want me to use as the stream picture for tomorrow, I would be so happy to do that. If you do not want to use a picture from the gala for the stream tomorrow, I totally understand also. But I would request one if you do want to do that. And I'll make the Thursday Think Tank about party time and the party that you're going to tomorrow. So please consider that and send me one later tonight if you want me to do that. I will do it that way. All right. All right. Let's go Raptor freaks. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Bench Mob. Let's go Jacoby. Let's go AJ. Let's go RJ. Let's go Yak. Wow. Fun game yesterday. Enjoy it, Raptors fans. Enjoy the win. Stop hating on the wins. And let's just go where we're naturally supposed to go in the standings with the amount of we play right, we win. Well, that's what's supposed to happen. And stop getting all upset, especially because this season, the rest of the season is so easy. And we need to win. We don't need to slump or slouch to the opponent on purpose. But if we're going to play this thing where we play all out and then the last 5 minutes we sub in the bench and let them try and close out the game, well, I think that's winning all around, even if we lose or win in those kind of games. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all. Let's go Raptors every single day. 9:05 tempo. Team Canada basketball. We are here for you on the Raptor Freak channel. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Thursday morning. Woo!